You have reached the temple of the Maiden thrice and found the winter gardens and fields overgrown. Two large sheep remembered from the past of some of you. Savagery, Deathmaker, wander in the fields, keeping guard, while a herd of llamas grazes. There's no sign, at least from where you are right now, of the maidens of the temple.
Araya sort of running through the fields. Think sound of music, running and looking, and she starts calling out, "Sisters!"
Seifert is trailing kind of nervously at Araya's elbow, keeping pace and sort of keeping an eye out, alert for signs of anything terrible or anything dangerous.
Doc is not quite as fast. She's probably sticking a little bit closer towards where Sal is, and she just keeps looking at Poppy, and sort of looking between Poppy and the sheep in the distance, and sort of staying and then looking, making eye contact between the two of them and Sal, and then just walking along and sort of towards the middle.
Yeah, give me a little opinions of the other characters who are present.
Chris, I wasn't here last session and I have no idea what's going on. Am I present?
Not currently. I'm going to send you a message.
Okay, cool.
I think moving from Sal's almost giddy excitement to reintroduce someone to this place that he likes, that he finds interesting, and seeing it overgrown is just kind of quiet with his jaw dropped, following everybody else.
I think Peach is trailing a little bit behind Sal, maybe falling in step with Poppy, and she can hear the snorting, kind of snuffling of the dinosaur next to her, and she just kind of looks over and says, "Hey, look, I didn't want to do nothing if they was family of you or anything. Not that I want to assume anything, but you know, it tried to bite me. I don't want to be covered in Aranaka blood." And she just kind of gently talks to Poppy as she follows in Salander's shadow, trying to make friends.
Casey would probably follow after Araya and Seifert, and look around and before following, and just say, "Well, this place has certainly changed. Maybe not for the better." Glances back at Sal and moves forward to follow the others.
I think Esmond might be AFK still.
Okay.
Do you want us to just pick up and just have conversations just while we wait? Like in character? We don't progress too much?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. There are no signs of the denizens of the temple out here in the fields. But looking up the switchback stairs that lead up to the facade of the temple itself, you can see, Araya, that the large doors that you've never seen closed at the front of the temple doors are shut. You can see steam rising from the exterior springs through the cold air. But there's the approach of a large, fat sheep Stares at each of you with one eye.
This sheep and I are somewhat acquainted from an ill-fated trying to ride it, right? I'm not on good terms.
It's true. Who's standing in the front?
Sort of walk, not like directly closer to it, but kind of like trying to go around, maybe up the stairs, but around the sheep. If it looks at all like it's about to headbutt me, I will back down. Not a sheep tamer.
If it looks like it's going to headbutt us, Cyphered will intervene.
Yeah, if Peach is nearby, she would go with Araya. If this is savagery, she already has charmed this sheep. So hopefully it remembers her.
So, frontmost then we'll say is Araya, right? And yeah, so the sheep's looking at you and you begin to skirt off to the side. It seems to be standing between you and the herd of llamas.
I respect your llama herd. She's like slow talking to the sheep. I want nothing of your llama. Your llama's your llama. Going.
Getting a closer look, you can see some like lines in all the wool. Like very clearly, the sheep is covered in scars. It's missing one eye. It's seen some rough days.
Ew.
Seems particularly. There's something about it as you get a little closer. Somehow beneath the fur, or not the fur, beneath the wool, you can see the muscle.
It's a battle sheep.
Anybody bring some shears?
Actually, now that you mention it,
Do you pull out your shears?
yes, Peach pulls out her +1 silver magical shears.
Well, hang
Sheep
on.
turns its eyes to
Hang
you.
on. Let's leave it be.
Oh, I'm not gonna hurt anybody or shear anybody. This isn't something I even know how to do. But somebody said wear shears. I've got shears.
Almost a little vent of steam comes out of the nose.
You don't need to be worried about me. Savagery. I'm a friend.
Cyphered hesitantly looks away back to the closed doors, right? Big, huge closed doors that are normally not closed.
Yes, they are currently closed. I don't know if Cyphered would know if they're normally or not, but
How do we get in? Do we knock?
Sisters normally stop me by this point.
They don't usually close. I bet you they're just inside and that these are closed because there have been things. Now, for Araya, is there like a small door off to the side, or do I have to like legit try to knock on the door?
there are. You guys are still down in the fields, but there are smaller entrances into the temple. Just so that everyone goes through the big main doors. But yeah, you're looking up the many stairs that go up to the front of the temple, and you can just at the angle you can see that those doors are closed.
Oh, okay. Well, they must have closed the large doors because of all manner of thing could have been bothering them. There are some other smaller entrances off to the side that we can go to. The hope is not lost.
It makes complete sense to close the doors with Aranakis around and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, I mean, is there any way that you can signal that we're friendly or anything? Is there a way for, I don't know, we can holler, hey, we're not Aranakis.
Well, I mean, should they see us, they'd know. It's just as simple as that, and they'll recognize me. I haven't changed.
Well, yeah, I mean, like to call them all out to maybe open the door rather than us all go into a place that I remember as being very dark and kind of slippery and a little hard to navigate all on our own.
Oh, that's just because you haven't. Well, no, they're just a side door, and then we could figure it all out from there.
Oh, okay. All right. forget I said anything.
Araya, Seifert will sort of like hook her arm around Araya's arm. Let's find a way in.
Oh, come this way, and heads up the stairs to the temple.
Casey sidles up next to Ez and says, "You reckon the rough cuts made it here?"
It's been 6 months, though. Esmond will just scratch his chin. I mean, they must have, right? It's hard to... There's no tracks, but it's also been 6 months since all that went down. But they also left right before everything kind of went to shit. So I would think that they're here. Probably, if they're here, they definitely would have boarded up somewhere to keep it themselves and everyone else safe.
I guess we'll see then. Doesn't feel right, though. It'll move ahead to follow the other two.
I'm gonna hang back here with Doc and fall behind you guys. If anything is darker, we need light. Let me know. I've got a couple tools for the job, for that particular job.
Okay. So Rhea, Seifred, Peach, Casey have begun heading up the long switchback stairs up to the temple. Esmond is hanging down at the bottom with Doc. Is that correct? Peach, did you go up as well?
No, Peach would stay back a little bit. She would give like Araya and Seifred like chance to she'd hang back with Sal.
Okay. And Cylinder, you're staying at the bottom too.
Yeah, I don't think he noticed right away that people took off, and then probably would have just stayed with the group that was there when he realized that half the people had left.
Okay. The people going up the stairs, give me a perception check, please. It's a 17 from Seifert, 22 from Casey, 12 from Araya.
She's just a little bit too happy to be here to pay attention.
Casey, you catch a bit of movement in the cliffside, like back the way you guys came, but up above the trail. Not sure what it is.
About how far away?
Quarter mile.
I tell whether it's human or animal?
The 22 looked like a person.
Yes.
Casey will call up to Seifert and Araya. Hold up. And kind of close the gap, jog up a little bit.
What is it, Casey?
Don't look, but I think someone's watching from the ridge.
Oh, but that's good then.
Seifert looks.
You look that direction, but you don't say anything.
We want to be seen, don't we?
Well, we want to be seen by the right person.
What other people could be out here?
Just have a strange feeling is all.
No, no, you're right. I've been a little bit too excited, and I think caution is smart given everything.
Sure, it'll be fine. I'm just saying we. Just keep our eyes open, huh?
She sort of shoulders her pack a little bit better, and then puts the staff that she's been carrying just like slung in her backpack, so she appears unarmed.
Casey turns back down the stairs and calls out pretty loudly in Primordial. It's kind of like hissy and guttural, and he says, "Someone on the ridge watching." So whoever understands Primordial will understand that.
At the bottom of the staircase, Esmond will hear that and note to everyone around him to keep an eye on the ridge and for anyone approaching the temple from that general direction.
When wind blows across the mountain.
Well, Peach is doing what as asked. Like I feel like Peach nods and follows direction.
I'm still gonna head up the stairs just a little bit slower and paying a better attention to her surroundings instead of like goal focused rushing forward.
Araya, when were they expecting you back?
A long time ago, but they also they had to have known things happened because the Rough Guts had headed this way, and if the Rough Guts made it here, hopefully that means that they've all survived together. Who knows what happened up here compared to what happened down in the town? They can't have been blind to anything happening around them, right? I mean, we're hermits, but not blind.
And Doc, it sounded like you were about to say something.
Oh no, I was just going to ask if I think Esmond told us to look in a direction. I guess looking around, just keeping an eye out, just making that explicit.
Okay, yeah. People at the bottom roll a disadvantaged perception check.
You said disadvantaged?
Aw. Which means that Ava just gets to roll once.
Still wasn't very good.
Go Sal.
Sal's tall.
That's true.
Better vantage. Ooh.
Peach is taller?
No, I'm just perceptive.
Peach, you're pretty sure you catch a glimpse of some kind of movement up on the ridge. You can't exactly tell what though.
There is something up there on that ridge. Something's moving around. And Peach will kind of, she'll reach behind her back and rummage in the shorter skirts there, and she'd take out her sling and Imam's skipping stone.
Yeah, seeing other people kind of looking around, maybe paying more attention. Doc just instead turns her attention towards the sheep and the other folk, and sort of approaches them at a safe distance, just sort of like checking them out a little bit.
Yeah, a little larger of the two sheep, muscly. A little taller than you, I think, at the shoulders. Round, fat, bulking shoulders. Or bulking fore chest, I should say. Watches you as you approach. Behind, you can see that herd of llamas chewing on grass. One of them maybe you recognize. I don't know how well you knew Snowball. But a distinctive thing, though. Snowball is one of the llamas from Shepherd's End. Has kind of a distinctive look. It looks like all these other llamas are wild llamas. They're colored differently. They have lighter hair.
Snowball's been busy.
Yeah, no, she'll sort of examine from a distance, I guess, circling around. She's been around livestock, but these seem a bit wild, I suppose. So she's not trying to get too close, but she's trying to look at the injuries from one of the ugly-looking sheep that's been beat up.
Yeah, looks like the sheep in front of you. If you remember correctly, that's savagery? That's savagery. It's one of the sheep from Shepherd's End, one of the big ones. It's gotten bigger somehow. Missing an eye. Has a scar across the face. Lots of scars on the body. You can see basically like ravines in all the wool. Right, where there's maybe slashing weapons been taken to the animal.
Yeah, she'll keep sort of looking at those, and still from a distance, sort of squatting a little bit. She's going to try to kind of have this small invisible hand kind of gently kind of move the fur around to like look, or not fur, the wool a bit, to sort of look at those different injuries and maybe gently sort of push the thing's head different directions like you would handle a normal sheep. Only in this case, the sheep doesn't see anything that's doing it.
Your main chain is not strong enough to move the sheep's head, but you can move the wool. You get a look. It looks like most of these scars, or like the wounds, have already mostly healed. They're scars for sure. If there are any fresh wounds, you might need to get closer to find them.
All right. Well, she just kind of nods and then thinks to go back. Yeah, and she's going to, I guess, return to the group of other people, having not gotten too much information other than it seems a little bit old.
Those of you moving up the stairs. Esmond, did you have... You raised your finger for a second.
It can wait.
Those of you moving up the stairs, by the time you get to the top... Well, it's a lot of stairs. Maybe you're out of breath, maybe you're not. It's up to you. But as you reach the top, the large stone doors are looming there before you. But what you notice more is down at the bottom. You see remains in front of the door. It's easy to see that two of them, probably people, have been picked clean by birds. The others, 3 more bodies, seem to be Aranakas.
Oh.
Are the like humanoid corpses wearing any obviously identifiable clothing?
You approach to have a better look, and you see farming tools lying on the ground. You see leathers. You see a pair of overalls. These were dwarves.
Oh.
Well, I guess we have some more information about the rough guts.
Well, I don't think we have... No, I'm not going to wonder. I'm just... there's another side door off this way. We should go take a look.
Are there any fresh tracks around this area, or does it all seem pretty old?
And this is just stone, so the tracks wouldn't take here. But roll investigation. Investigation or survival, either one.
Can I do it too?
Yeah, anyone who's up there.
Yeah. No, my first not terrible roll.
Nice. Yeah, Araya and probably Cyphered too. You realize that looking at the remains, it's been a long time. Some bones have been scattered around, but just by the arrangement of where the majority are, it looks like the rough guts, the dwarves, were between the Ornakus and the door.
Maybe
It doesn't seem too mysterious what happened here, but I guess I wonder why these remains are still out here.
it's possible that they... I don't want to guess, but maybe this was their fight to close the doors and these two didn't make it in time, but it gives me hope that more of the rough guts might be inside. I don't know how long the provisions in the temple would last, though.
Let's try to find a way in.
Yeah. She'll take them to routes that she's familiar with, having lived here her whole life.
Yeah, you guys make your way down the side stairs, going through the gardens. The gardens are overgrown now. Looks like some wild plants have taken over some portions, but there are still some colorful flowers that the maidens had planted. They see waters, the healing fountains trickling down, the steaming pools, and pushing through some overgrown vines, you find the side door. Pushing on it budges just a little bit, and you hit something on the other side. It doesn't open.
She sort of leans against the door and calls through the crack, "Sisters, if you're still there, give me a sign."
There's just enough room for you to try to shout through, but you hear your voice echo a bit. No answer.
Maybe if one of our stronger friends could maybe pry this open. She knocks loudly.
Just something blocking from the other side.
Well, it might have been purposefully blocked. They could be holed up inside, thinking that it's terrible out here when it's not. Do you want to call down for the others? Maybe.
Yeah. Casey will kind of run back up the way they came from, and call down in Primordial again. We're going in, but we need a hand.
Everyone at the bottom of the stairs sees Esmond look up, back towards the top, and yell out in what sounds like wind cutting through dying tree branches. Oh, you hear, noted, we're coming up. And Esmond turns back to everyone. All right, looks like they found a side entrance, so we're going to head in there. So let's move, I guess. And Zephrys, where'd you go?
Kibeth comes sprinting up, and she's like, "You know, you just made the weirdest noise. Hey, guys, what's going on? Where's everybody else?"
That's more or less what I expected, actually. Hey, Kibeth.
Hey, what a miss. Anybody have any snacks?
Were you up on that ridge a minute ago?
Well, yeah, I mean, I checked out, like, the paths and everything, and it seemed fine, but, I saw some stuff, but they don't seem to want to go on rocks so much, so I came to see what you guys were doing. I got along.
Well, we're just about to see if we can get into the temple, so let's all head up, I guess.
Cool. Race you up there. She starts sprinting up the stairs.
It's a bomb!
You hear one of the loud birds just squawking, and then it flies away.
Doc, who's sitting at the bottom of the steps with her back to the stone, takes a deep breath and blows out some to have a bit of her hair, blows out of her face, and climbs back to her feet, sort of almost a little petulant from all the hiking they've been doing and the idea of going all the way up some more stairs, and begins to make the climb after whoever's up front.
Quebec runs up ahead, sees you lagging, circles back down around, starts going behind. Even starts like, come on, you can do this. Like pushing you gently, like, come on, I'll carry your stuff. Give me all your stuff. It's fine. I can help.
The more you do that, the more frumpy she becomes.
Yeah, she's still dragging you anyways. She's very happy to see you. She's like, it turns out it's really boring when you're by yourself and you can run really fast, and then nobody else can keep up with you, and then you're all by yourself for a while, and then you just it's boring. I miss you guys. Hi. Come on.
At this point, you're pretty much pushing her up. Most of the force is coming from you. Yeah,
it looks as though Zephyrus got distracted by finding all the wildflowers and just been like kind of hopping around flower to flower, but then flies after Asmund.
Glutton.
I was just going to instruct him to keep an eye out on the staircase for anything that might come following up after us.
Yeah, flies back to the flowers.
What's up, boss? Yeah, I'll check it out.
You got any more of that pollen?
Yeah.
Casey is pacing and kind of stretching in front of the main gates where the bodies are, waiting for the others to come up there.
Yeah, I think Peach is probably last one up, unless Salinger's bringing up the rear.
So I'll be toward the back, so I'll say right in front of you.
Okay, yeah. So you would hear Peach just kind of still quietly muttering to herself, almost sing-song under her breath, like, and we're going to the temple, and you're covered in blood, and this is a bad look. This is not a good look to go to the temple. And she's just sort of nervously singing to herself while trying to wring Arnaka's blood out of her clothes.
I guess it's the first person kind of crests the stairs. Casey will go, Doc, you made it up here quick. And then sees Kabeth behind her.
Oh?
That explains it.
Good to see you too.
It wasn't by choice.
Check this out. It looks like Arnak has made it this far. No signs of slime, though. Looks like the rough cuts made it here too, as
That's good.
Well, not for those two.
Oh, we're like right in front of the bodies. Yeah.
No, you guys are in the side garden, so you haven't seen the bodies yet.
I waited for them to come up. I thought they were coming up the way we came down to the side.
No, you don't have to pass by the door to get to where you are now.
Okay, cool. Then ignore the bodies, but he's still like, we're going in this way.
And so moving through the gardens, you come to the just normal-sized door, kind of overgrown with an arch of vines, but it's still closed.
Maybe thanks for coming, Sal.
Sorry, what's that?
Door won't open. Maybe a thanks for coming.
Oh, yeah, just weird seeing this place in this state. You want me to put a shoulder into it?
I think so. There's some. It might be stuff.
Well, let's hold that thought for just a second. If it was blocked for the purposes of keeping the Arnakas out, it might be a good idea to check to make sure it's not triggered to explode or hurt anyone that manages to break through. Give me a minute here. Let me look over it.
Oh yeah.
It's smart.
Well, I just don't. Oh, the rough guts are in there possibly, so that makes more sense. My sisters, I don't think, know how to set up explosives.
It sounds like you have snacks. I think you should feed Kibeth.
Oh, please, like, give her a cookie through the top. Open up your mouth like a.
Cookies? You get snacks? I'm really hungry.
Hardtack.
I have food, but it's buried in my pack, and I don't feel like taking it out right now. I ate all the quick access stuff. I need. Who's got quick access food? Anyway.
Casey glances down at the pouch on his hip and reaches a hand towards it, but then thinks a moment, pats it a bit. Faint buzzing sound comes out, and he's like,
What? What's in your pouch?
Snacks, probably. Find anything, Ez?
Seifrid will not get in Esmond's way while he's checking out the door, but she would also like to help check out the door.
Esmond wants to check the door for traps, DM, if that's feasible.
Yeah, you spend some time looking. Please roll a perception check. Yeah, so I think just for procedure, just because this is not very well defined, I think detecting that there is a trap, depending on the trap, will either be perception or investigation. Like knowing how to disarm it will be investigation, and then the actual doing the disarming would be like thieves' tools.
Okay. Seifrid said she was going to assist. Would that give me advantage or no?
Yeah, let me think. Is this something that would actually be helpful to have another person helping you with?
I do have one of these guys. And he holds up a little looking glass on a stick from his thief's tools.
While they're about to start looking, once again, Ava, who's at this point sort of exaggerating, being tired though, she does sort of, as Esmond is walking by or like doing the thing, she says a few words and like touches him on the back. Or I don't know if you guys are doing separate rolls or just one, but she's a guidance, a slight feeling of aptitude, that's the wrong word, comes over you, and you vision seems to clarify, your senses become slightly more keen, and you just feel like you're able to focus. It's a shot of Adderall that lasts for a minute.
You have a guidance, I suspect.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Okay, so I think that's the way I do it. Who is going to help Esmond?
I was intending to do like a separate role, but am also happy to help instead. But I don't know if helping.
I think the nature of the narrow doorway, only one of you can like be close enough to do it, so you'll have to choose who's going to be the one to do it. And being the lead, I should say.
Yeah, Seifrid is behind Esmond, so specifically not in his way.
Okay.
Casey tosses her the mirror.
Are you proficient in investigation?
Yes.
Okay, then yes, you can help. So Esmond will have advantage, and you can just kind of whisper in his ear. I don't know what you do, but somehow help.
Like kind of like tippy toe, kind of like peeking around, like, oh, what is that?
Hold the flashlight, maybe.
Hold the flashlight.
You said that's perception?
Perception, yes, I think in this case, perception.
I can't stop rolling like dog shit.
That's an 11 plus 1. Yeah, peek, kind of looking through, you even run a finger along the seam a little bit. There's not really much room to see anything, but...
Does he get to add a d4 to that too? Is that already included?
Oh yeah, the guidance.
It's included.
Oh, you
Well,
won
that's what
the
the plus
guidance.
one is. Yeah.
Can we, I know this is a slight metagame, but can we just stop having Kevin roll anything for us?
Honestly, I think it's going to be healthy for the whole group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, you Yeah, it doesn't look like anything's wrong. But you also, the door's just barely open. There's not even enough room to get like a finger through. So let's just say this: for what you're able to interact with, there are no traps.
Does there seem like a good like crevice to try to get like leverage on for like the intention of trying to like wrench the door open?
There's probably just enough space that if you had like a crowbar or similar item, you could fit it in there.
Wait, can we shape? She like looks at Casey. Could we shape this like a little bit? And she's referencing the mold earth cantrip that allows you to shape stone. It's just a little bit.
It does not allow you to shape stone.
It's
It
dirt.
allows you to make difficult terrain.
Oh, you could choose cause shapes to appear on. Appear on. It's like I misread that. That's like a like on top of. Like
Shape
a
stone
relief.
is a higher level spell. Like,
Got it. All right. Never mind then.
I'll give it a go. Casey start to move his hands and kind of flash his hands out towards the bottom of the door and make it difficult terrain.
Great.
Oh my god.
Yeah. The texture of the ground beneath the door begins to shift a little bit. It's almost as though the ground is now covered in like little rectangular blocks that seem as though they could fit together if they were independent. You're not really sure what to make of it, but
Might help you get some leverage and grip. Does the door
Yeah,
open inwards
let's
or
try it.
outwards? I guess I should ask.
inward.
Yeah. Just dig your heels in.
I mean, do we have something? The Cypher kind of like looks around. Do we have something we can like pry in here?
Casey points at Sal.
I mean, I was hoping to try to like, I don't know, leverage it instead of just jumping to brute force, but
Well, any harm we could do, we could repair it. I did help Esmond with his wall, so I'd be happy to repair the door after we break it for here.
And I do resent being called a brute.
I sorry. Yeah, I'm not trying to say that you are not also finessed. By all means, Cypher will step aside.
Well, I could, what if I made the door itself light up, and then maybe if there are any sisters inside saw it, it would kind of alert them that we're here?
Do they know that that's something you can do?
No.
Is this a heavily trafficked door?
No.
Do they sleep on the other side of the door?
No, rooms entirely enclosed.
It sounds like a terrible idea.
Oh, well, it's an
Babe,
option.
it'd be nice.
It's an idea nonetheless.
I mean, they probably can't hear us banging on the door, getting attention. Maybe.
Just
Yeah.
have Sal open it. Come on, Sal.
Yeah,
quit
let's break
delaying.
in.
Okay.
You're
Esmond
sure?
checked it. He said there's no traps, so let's crack this baby open.
All right. Well,
I'll give him
before
some
I
space.
give me a little bit of room, and as this is your home, Aurea, do I have your permission to bust this door in?
Are you, like a vampire in the stories? You
mm.
may enter, Salinger.
Yeah, that's what I
kind
meant.
of stories are you reading here at the church school, girl?
No, not here. Goodness.
Right. In the midst of that, he lowers his shoulder and just slams as hard as he can into it.
This
All
religion
of her
just-
extracurricular reading happens in town, don't you know?
Absolutely. Y'all have like or Beth at least has like a
Yeah, I was
stack
gonna
of
say it's a book of Beth Lenter for sure.
Oh my god, I love that. I love that for that relationship. That
Beth has like a mini
Rhea,
library.
like-
You can come over for anything.
Yes.
There's
Some
all kinds of books.
great scandalous young adult stuff. Fade to black, just kissing.
Casey says this religion just gets more and more interesting.
Yeah.
Should I make an athletics roll?
Stranger.
It's a
Strange-
popular book called Midday.
That's a good one. Stranger in the Ravenloft is also another good one. There's also another good one called Make a Constitution Saving Throw.
Oh, wait. Oh, but he hasn't rolled athletics yet.
No, not right now. That's the title of the book.
What's your book titles?
Don't even. You play with my heart.
That's a horror. That's not romance.
Dexterity, though.
Yeah, so make your... How do you want to do this, Sal? You just smashing your shoulder in the door? Athletics.
Yeah, a shoulder block, something he'd be somewhat familiar with, though he has not applied this to a door before.
I like it. Give it a roll.
Under her breath, she says back to Esmond, she goes, 3 tries.
I need to check a feat real quick that might apply here.
I give it 4.
I could maybe, help with this with moral support. The maiden would want this to happen for most certainly. And she places a hand on his shoulder and holds the necklace at her chest and mumbles a soft prayer to the maiden, imbuing him with guidance.
Ooh.
Are there other doors I could check? I mean, I could like be there and back in like a minute.
There's a big main door.
I mean,
This
you
is the
could,
best option down here.
I like the idea that the maiden has an understood open door policy.
Honestly, she welcomes all comers, and especially those in need, and the whole city is in need.
If you go check the other doors, Kabeth, just keep a lookout. There's someone watching from the ridge.
Clang! Salander smashes his shoulder in the door. There's the sound of something on the other side clattering, falling, and smashing of wood. And you hear the shattering of pottery. The door opens enough for a small creature to fit through. But it'll take another blow to open it more.
Are any of us small creatures?
Our height chart didn't go under
Medium or
5.
Yeah, I was
Esmond.
I was maybe looking at the height chart for a reason.
Is that
Esmond, what about your bird? Damn, you beat me to it.
As that is asked, Esmond is already telepathically communicating with Zephyrus to bring him up.
Roll persuasion.
we got strong-willed familiars?
Oh no, Patrick.
Chris, you're like this. I just imagined this
Go on.
it's this coked up bird, and he's like, "What's that, boss? You need to break the door."
There are knockers down there. I killed them all. It's so one second.
Like the things like Yondu's dart just flying through dinosaurs.
He's just fucking gone.
I'm just imagining it like developing a taste for blood, and the blood makes it stronger. It's like, why haven't I been eating this all along?
Oh no, it switched from pollen to nectar.
Oh, let me close my door.
Hummingbirds do drink nectar.
Yeah,
I need to use the restroom super fast. I'm sorry.
Oh, well done.
yeah, people juice, dinosaur juice, that stuff.
While Sal is pushing the door, Peach is like trying to keep Poppy calm. Shh, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. He's allowed to.
Yeah. Poppy's like slurping out of the hot springs. Yeah, Zephyrus comes flying up.
Yeah, you said there's no... the bodies aren't right where we are. We were in a small garden, and the bodies were somewhere else. Is that correct?
Bodies are in front of the main door. You guys are over on the right side of the temple with the small gardens.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't...
And just to better describe this, I guess where you are, the central feature of these gardens are trickling hot springs that come down from the rocks. They kind of form a couple of small tiered pools here. And the gardens have sort of been planted all around. The flowers are overgrown. Looks like nobody's been tending to this for some time.
Ooh, okay. Well, Sal's doing the door stuff. I'm gonna go and prune some of those flowers, especially any of the interesting ones.
Okay, yeah, you're plucking some flowers that might have maybe medicinal properties. Cool, yeah. Yeah, that'll let you refill your reagent pouch if you have one.
DM, with the door open just the smidge that it is, how dark is it in there? Is there any visible light that's coming through that crack in the door?
It's a little hard to tell because the angle that it's at just points at a wall, and there's the light from the day outside is just shining onto the wall. So it's a little hard to know.
Okay, I'm just gonna do a thing. All right. Okay. So I'll send Zephyr, but I'm going to be viewing everything from his perspective. So I'm just gonna need somebody to watch over me while I do that, I guess, because I'm gonna be completely useless. I can't see or hear anything when I'm doing that. Additionally, and he starts digging through his satchel, and you see him pull out a fist-sized metal ball, and he turns it once and clicks in on the center of it, and as he opens his palm to it, and the ball kind of falls apart into 4 larger-sized fireflies, almost look like. He just says to them, "Okay, dancing light formation, please." And he will just let them loose towards the crack in the door. And I'm going to cast dancing lights on the inside of the temple from that door. So those fireflies are going to fly in. They're going to light up the entrance on the other side of the door. And then Esmond is going to sit down, cross his legs, close his eyes, and I'm going to shift my perspective to Zephyrus and take off into the entrance.
All right, yeah. See that Zephyrus almost drops out of the air for a moment, kind of catches himself. And then you get to steer, Esmond. As the dancing light comes on, shadows shift, across the, even the crack in the doorway. And you see where Casey's shadow is sort of falling on the door. Something moves from Casey's shadow around the corner and goes through the door. And then Zephyrus, you fly inside. Inside, behind the door, you can see there's a massive pile of furniture and pots that have been piled against the door. There's also some sort of arrangement of thread and rope that connect to an apparatus that's hanging a big, probably several 100-pound brass bell on a hinge that would swing into the door if it were disrupted.
Yeah, okay. In the immediate vicinity, are there any survivors or people that seem to be inspecting the door that was just kind of loudly pushed open?
No, there's no one in this room. You can see that there are candles burned down, wax and puddles. No one's taken care of it or cleaned it. The interior of the temple is still intact. The architecture there. But you can see there's dust. Nobody was in sweeping. You can see some candles have burned down, some candles have been put out. They still have some life left in them, but they're not currently lit, at least in this room. But you do see a slight flicker of candlelight coming from, like, through an archway, like, across the room, like in another hallway. But you'd have to cross the main chamber to get to it.
Okay, and it's completely dark in this room except for where I have the dancing lights set up at the door currently.
And the light kind of bouncing off the wall as it comes through the crack in the door.
From his sitting position, you guys, with his eyes closed, you hear Esmond reiterate all this information back to you.
If you could hear me, I could maybe give you directions. Can he can't hear, okay.
He doesn't respond.
He's ignoring you.
That's okay.
There's also a giant bell that is set up to swing and obliterate anybody that comes in through this door.
Glad you saw that.
Glad we didn't go that way, huh?
I wonder, is there a way around it? Or to disable it?
I'm currently looking to see if there's a way to disable it from the inside or the outside.
Alright, Esmond, roll an investigation.
Oh no, why did...
Why,
He's got all his bad rolls out.
Why are you making me roll?
Yeah, this
Chris?
one's gonna be great. You got
This
it.
one is
Chris,
going to be
this
great.
is-
I have
this
the
is really-
utmost trust and confidence
that's
in
very
Esmond's
rude of
ability
you.
to save us from this giant bell.
Wait, a better idea. Don't roll investigation.
Chris
You hover around, flying back and forth, and you realize, yeah, you know how you could disable this. If
Oh
you
no.
All you,
I
have
don't
to, all you have to do is disable this one rope, and it should be fine.
Okay. Zephyrus will begin tugging at the rope, I guess.
Zephyrus is not strong enough to do this task.
But it has to be done from the inside.
Yeah, but it's within arm's reach. Like, someone with a long enough arm could reach around through the door and do it.
You don't get to tell me that after saying, no, you don't need to roll, actually.
I'll have you roll later.
I hate this, Chris. You are not a kind god.
It's so
I love
unnerving.
this.
We've already established that replacing arms is easy.
I'm sa-
What about heads? Can you replace heads if a head gets smashed in? Or are they just dead?
I'm saving you from having to, like, be like, oh, I know this won't work, but I'm going to try it anyway. Or I know this will work, but I'll pretend like it's dangerous.
Esmond will open his eyes. Okay, well, it's not ideal, but I know how to disarm the trap. I'm just going to have to kind of reach my arm through and tug on a particular...
Esmond Clockrat, that is not what
Are you
disarm
sure?
means. Absolutely not.
Use your bad arm.
I mean, obviously.
I don't want to have to replace that one too.
They're
Wait,
both
can we
good
reach
arms.
with something else? Like she holds up her hammer. Can we like slip the hammer through it and knock it down and make it so that your body's not in the way of the door as much?
Or what about those hand things that you all can sometimes make? I see you like moving little things around.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. As Ava will present hers and be like, yeah, use your... as if to illustrate the thing you know how to do.
That's actually a much better idea. Esmond will pull out his wand and twirl it around a little bit, and a transparent blue hand begins floating in front of him, and he's going to send it through to tug on the rope to disarm the bell.
Oh, wait,
You
do
were
we
gonna
need to
make
get out of the way? Cypher, takes it.
Oh yeah, everyone should take several steps back.
Oh,
Click on Mage Hand for me.
It's
Report to
10
top.
pounds.
10 pounds is a little
It's a
dog.
good bit of, yeah, it's not nothing.
That's a good tug.
And I'll get weird with it too if you want to, Chris.
Yeah.
I'll
Oh
cast
my
it.
god,
I'll
please
cast it
get
while
weird
I'm.
with it.
I'll
Chris,
cast
does the
Mage
rope-
Hand while I'm looking through Zephyrus's perspective. I'll get really funky with it.
Chris, does the
I like
rope have to
this.
be cut? Did Esmond say it had to be cut or just moved?
He said it had to be tugged.
Well, I mean,
There's like a linchpin kind of situation going on.
I mean, if it helps, I mean, we have a pair of shears. You can take the hand and cut it with the shears, and we can stand really far away.
I'm not volunteering my shears. He can just use his magical hand thing to go in and do it on his own. Why? It doesn't need tools. He can pull that pin.
Let me just see if I can tug it loose, and worst case scenario, that we'll need a dagger or something.
It's like a simple machine. I'm sure Esmond can do this. And she goes over to Cypher and is like, 2-1 the bell swings. I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to make side bets for fun.
All right. Yeah. So, where do you guys arrange yourselves? What do you do?
I'm off to the side.
Yeah, Cypher moves to the side of the door, not super far away, but definitely not like in a direct line from the door. Kind of like at an angle where she can still watch what is happening.
I'm still eating, and I take my snacks with me, and I plop myself down in a safe distance, and I continue to eat while watching what happens.
Oh. No, never mind.
Go.
Is the bell just gonna block the door?
Oh, actually, realizing that everyone's attention is more or less absorbed, Cypher will take a automatic cautious glance around the surroundings.
Sounds good. So Cypher's keeping watch. Yeah. So Esmond, looking through Zephyrus's eyes, kind of from the other angle, you start to move the mage hand. At first, it's really difficult. Like, you mean to move it left, but it goes right. You kind of bump it into the wall.
It's tank controls. It's old Resident Evil tank controls.
Yeah, it's like your controls are inverted. You're trying to maneuver down there towards the rope. You manage to get the hand onto it. And let me ask you this. I suppose you have two different options here. There's sort of a linchpin, right? So you can pull the linchpin, which was your original idea, or I think someone had suggested the idea of cutting the rope. Which one do you want to do?
I'd like to pull the linchpin. Rope can be used for later if we need it.
Okay. Yeah, so the hand grabs on, starts to pull. You're trying as hard as you can. 10 pounds of pressure is not enough.
Esmond, with his eyes closed, will just kind of say aloud, I need somebody to please pass me a dagger in my open hand here, please. We're going to have to cut the rope, unfortunately.
Peach would pass him her shears. But handle first so that he can feel that they are shears and not a dagger.
You feel something pressed into your hand.
Assuming it's shears, I'm going to resummon the mage hand, passing the supposed shears into the mage hand, and I will pass that along back through. Some more tank controls, go back to the linchpin, and begin cutting the rope at that point.
All right, you start cutting. At first, it's kind of weird. Like, you scrape the dagger or shears along the rope, and you're like, wait, no, this way. You just feel the first thread start to weaken. Bang, one of them pops. Roll investigation, please. It's a 24 investigation. Plus 7. This was a great idea. The rope snaps and gives way and gets sucked through, and the bell sways a bit, but nothing happens.
Wow.
I will bring the shears back. Ask Zephyrus to stay in there, and Esmond will come back. Okay, issue resolved. Sal, you're good to get that door open.
See, this is what I'm telling you. This is why we gotta share ideas, as you were about to put your real hand in there. You and Shalati did too, and Salinger, you all need to stop sticking your hands in places that might cut them off.
But it worked.
I know.
In my defense, it
Didn't it
was
work
10 feet tall.
each of those times?
I mean, nobody's lost a hand yet, but it ain't like we don't have a history.
All right.
Are we
I'm
good to
gonna hit it
open this
again.
thing?
Sal, can you do the honors?
Lowers down the 3-point stance and then charges the door again, hits it with his shoulder.
Alright, no reason to roll for it. You smash your shoulder into the door a second time. Chairs go flying, and there's a shattering of pottery, and door flies open. Rope gets tugged, nothing happens.
I'm not dead by giant bell.
I wonder how they got it up.
Seyfried lightly applauds. Incredible technique. Expert skill. Such finesse.
An excellent recovery. Thank you, Cypher.
Is the door still functional, or did he obliterate the door?
No, it's functional. So
And the door works! She swings it open, swings it shut, swings it open,
yeah, pottery. Some of the pottery smashed. There's a chair that's smashed, but door's fine.
We can make new pottery. The door, though, is good.
Not priceless pottery representing
No.
the maiden.
No, see, this is plain stuff. No, she kind of nudges some pieces off to the side without his notice.
Sivan sort of walks through the doorway and looks in at the giant bell with everybody else, looks around. She's saying to Araya, she's like, killing the Arnakis, setting traps. It's such a violent religion.
And why wouldn't it be the Rough Guts? They could have been helping. The maidens aren't necessarily trained in, fortifying the temple. It's not in any of the books I read.
Oh, I was just giving you a hard time. I don't know. I guess they were scared.
Well, maybe we could add a bell to our town's defenses.
Well, if we find them, then they can answer it for themselves.
As everyone's walking around, there are 4 larger than usual steel or brass and wood insects that are producing a brighter than they should be able to light sources set up in every corner of the room to kind of light up the full space as best as it can. Okay, so we're in. Do we want to set a similar, well, not a trap, but do we want to set an alarm system on this door?
Way ahead of you. Did Cypher make it in?
Yeah, I'm in.
Case kind of looks up at the bell and is at the door and says, "Yeah, didn't think the Rough Guts would be clever enough to set up something like this." And he opens the door, looks down at the little squares of dirt, reaches into a different pouch and throws down some caltrops.
Nice.
Just watch your step if you come through this door again.
It already is really uncomfortable. I should find a broom somewhere.
You dismiss the caltrops and throw down caltrops?
Yep. They're both there, double caltrops.
rough terrain caltrops?
Can somebody give me a visual on caltrops? I'm realizing I don't actually know what they are.
Four-sided
I
dice,
always-
but pointier.
I always think of them as the like jacks, like the little metal jacks.
Yeah, they're a lot like jacks, but made of knives.
Yeah. Did you ever see Home Alone?
Yes.
All right. So, the Christmas ornaments. That's what they're flavored as. They're always Christmas.
All right, I was imagining the right thing.
Or for Casey, he just throws down hot coals.
Yes.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, that's great.
Cool.
Volcanic glass.
Though I don't know how that would interact with the rough terrain, since you have to move slower in rough terrain. Does it just negate
It
caltrops?
seems like it. Yeah, because you move slower to avoid taking damage.
Yeah, because if you walk through caltrops, you're fine. Maybe it puts it... yeah, I'll put it in front of the rough terrain, on the right next to the edge.
It's like the crags of the rocky terrain are higher than the height of the caltrops.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, like, you move into that space at full speed, I would reckon, and it's only 5 feet of rough terrain, so I don't know how it would work. But he set something up.
If you put it right in front of the rocky terrain, then conceivably they would just go walking in, assuming that there wasn't a random rough patch of dirt, trip, and then fall into the caltrops. Perfect plan.
That'll work, too.
Okay, I'll assume this is done after everyone makes an insight.
Does anyone have the grease spell?
What?
Does anyone have the grease spell?
I mean, I've got
I
a
have
flask of
steel.
oil.
Anybody bring grease? He turns back to everyone as he closes the door. Never mind. Let's keep going.
Door shuts.
As as all of this is happening, Seyfried will light her bullseye lantern.
In response to the bright lights from Esmond, and now seeing as Seyfried pulls out the thing, Dot squints her eyes and pulls her mask over her head. Before she does, she takes a quick sniff. Anything potent in the air?
Yeah, so Seyfried's pulled out the lantern using a little bit of flint and steel to spark to light it. You roll a scent-based perception check.
Chris, how do we differentiate scent-based versus other kinds of perception checks?
It only matters if you have some modifiers specifically for those things, like some animals and creatures get advantage or disadvantage, etc.
The correct answer is who knows? Who knows?
So 21 from Ava. That's pretty good. Yeah, you pick up the scent of a musky man.
She reaches her nose up and sort of glances over at Sal and puts her mask on. Is there... No, I'm joking. He probably smells me. I know that's too. No, what is there... Where's the origin of the... Is it an individual around us or just a scent of in general?
You can't know that, just the scent there.
Okay, yeah, she just kind of curls up her nose and pulls her mask on. And she does do that thing, but she's doing it clearly to agitate Sal. Playfully.
Yeah, and you're picking that out. I'm above, like, the scent of incense and dust and things like that.
I think someone's been in here for a while, she says more seriously as the mask comes on.
What do you mean? Someone who's not a maiden?
It smells like a musty old man or something. Or at least one that hasn't bathed in a while, I would say.
This is literally a bathhouse. The fact that he still smells so potently, I'm not hopeful about.
Well, then we should go slowly. That's... Wow, Ava, your nose is... I can't smell anything except dust, really.
It's not always fun.
Should we wear more flowers?
No, you're all fine. I got used to it.
Oh, that doesn't make me feel better.
Not used to it.
I mean, oh, great.
Oh,
We should start moving before we continue to frustrate Doc's sensitivities.
if the Maiden's gathered anywhere, I imagine we should check the main temple area first, just this way.
Yeah, so you pass from this entrance through a storeroom. You can see that the barrels and crates in this room, jars, a lot of them are open, a lot of them are missing from the shelves. Passing through this chamber, you get to the main chamber of the temple. Large, 25 feet high in the air. Some spears of light from this narrow windows coming through. You can see that this chamber is filled with candles, but they've all been extinguished with the exception of 2 or 3 of them that are burning. A lot of them have been burned down all the way to the candle holder. Some of them, looks like, still have hours of life left in them. You see a bit more candlelight coming from an adjacent chamber. But in this main room, those big main doors that lead out to the front, you can see that there's tons of furniture and bookshelves piled against them, leaned into them, used to barricade it. There are books and scrolls all over the floor. The rear of the room is a giant high relief carved into the back wall of the Maiden Thrice. It's 20 feet tall, arms outstretched, palms turned up.
Is it still intact?
Mm-hmm.
That's a relief. Thanks, Sean.
Seifert has resumed her cautious position by Araya. So if you were barricading yourself in here, which part of the temple would you hide in?
Casey looks up at the relief and says relatively loudly, "Maiden sure is a looker," as it dings through the hall.
His voice echoes.
I don't think Koreni is nearby.
Well, they should be. We could go. We should just check their rooms. I don't know if they're on a day or a night cycle, if they've been inside seemingly this entire time. We should, sisters?
Your voice.
Anyone?
Maybe if you have like a food store or something where supplies are, maybe we'll find people there.
Well, this was what she just gestures back to where some of the things had been visibly taken from the store. This is the main one, and are there supplies left, or is it all of them gone?
There's a very sparse number of things remaining. If you had to guess, for how many people are you? 9? 8? There's maybe 2 weeks of food left for 8 people.
I mean, somebody's been eating this stuff, so someone is here, whether it's any of the maidens or whatever stinky man Ava smelled.
Roll a investigation check, Araya.
Okay.
Casey shakes his head to Ez and says a bit quieter, "Head maidens would have chased me out of here by now."
Terrible.
Yeah, looking at the storeroom, it's hard to make any sense of what you're seeing there, other than there's a bunch of food missing.
I mean, somebody's been going through the supplies here. This is one of the main ones. There might be some... Oh, maybe they each brought supplies back to the... Let's go check the different rooms and my room and Yeah.
Lead the way.
Yeah, this hallway here. And she walks ahead, well ahead of the lights and stuff, having no problem with, like, dark caves.
Cypher keeps up.
Long shadows kind of crawl across the walls and the floors. The lantern light sweeps back and forth as you move. You move from the main chamber into the smaller rear chambers and hallways. You pass through a small ambulatory with some catacombs, and you can see that there are some of the precious relics of the Maiden. They're all aesthetic largely and of religious significance. They're still there, covered in dust. You pass into some of the rear chambers, and you begin passing some of the dormitory rooms for the maidens, and you open the first door. You're able to tell really quickly somebody is like packed to leave.
Oh. But I've known, like, I likely would know whose room it is and stuff like that. Like, I would know.
Yeah, we'll say you first. You check.
You don't have to give me names or any of that stuff.
Oh no, we have your one. we have your one friend.
Oh, my bunny friend?
Yeah.
There's a bunny maiden.
Oh.
Not the
Maybe
bunny
there was.
maiden. No, there is. Until proven otherwise, she's an is, not a was.
Here. Throwing around tenses.
Corna is the one who doesn't.
She's the
priestess
cat.
Doesn't like you. Yeah.
That's the mean one, yeah.
She's the cat. The bunny one. I know. I'm like, oh, where is that?
Corne and Salois.
Yeah, Salois is the awesome one, but who went north to the thingy.
Yeah, it's in your channel somewhere. I can't remember the name of it, but
You know me, Abina.
Abina, there we go.
Abina.
Yeah,
Paragon.
check Abina's room first. Your Harrigan friend. Yeah, and it looks as though she's packed. Her personal items are taken. Robes are gone. Bed's made.
Oh, it's as if everything that she would take with her is gone.
Yes,
But-
if someone packed
okay.
to take a trip.
That's better than packed up and there's a beautifully packed backpack left behind in the bedroom. And that's what I thought at first. I was horrified. Oh, well, it looks like Abina has sort of cleaned up her room. That really is a good thing, right?
I mean,
Let's check the other rooms.
Yeah.
Araya, if they weren't here, where would they go?
Huh.
Where's safer than here if they're under attack? I mean, this is where you fortify yourself in. Where would they go to? Where is the place they go?
And we know they didn't make it
Hold
to
your horses,
town.
Kabath.
Well,
Let's keep checking.
yeah. It's too soon to draw a conclusion.
I run faster than a horse. Why would I hold a horse?
Hold you, the horses.
I don't understand.
Out of character, my daughter hates that phrase. I say it to her all the time, and she's like, "What horses?"
Oh my god.
She's like, "Don't say that."
The fury.
You push open the door. It's unpacked. It's whoever was, the maiden who lived in this room, packed up all their stuff and is gone.
Dunk takes the mask back off her hand and pulls it up just enough to sniff a little bit to see if the old man's stink has gotten any stronger.
It's about the same.
Puts mask down.
You reach your own chambers. Open the door.
Are they how I left them?
They're how you left them, but there is a letter sitting on your pillow.
Oh. She walks in and picks it up.
It says, start to read it. It says, Dear Araya, Coronet feels confident that we should explore, that it's a sign from the Maiden. I have to admit that I have doubts, but I have to follow her teachings. She knows the Maiden more than anyone. I pray that you're okay and that you'll come back soon. Hopefully, if you find this, we'll be back shortly after. There should be food left. Your friend.
So it says that Coronet, under guidance of the Maiden, has them explore, but nothing in detail of beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, I don't know.
What does it say?
Well, it says that Coronet, the High Priestess, had them explore, so it makes sense that everybody's packed up to leave. But where?
That's in keeping with Abina. She often leaves out key information.
That's fine. I'm gonna look for signs. So she did say that there was food in store, that they expected me to return, and so I don't know when this would have been, but... And there's someone was in those provisions.
You notice on the other side of the letter there's some more writing.
Oh.
P.S. Coronet thinks you're to blame for everything, but I know she's wrong.
Coronet always has it in for me. Those dwarves got to her. Honestly, I don't think that she'd be this... I'm an easy scapegoat.
Where did the Rough Guts want to go? Was their end destination seeking help at the temple?
No, they were going to find me at the temple and bring me to justice.
I see.
What
route do you think they would have taken to leave?
Well, if they've barred everything up and everything doesn't look like it's been disturbed, as everything was barred up from the inside, maybe they went deeper into the mountains. I mean, I've explored many of these caverns and they go all over the place. Gosh, but I mean, they would have come to dead ends and come back up. Spelunking isn't exactly something that any of the other maidens really participated in. It was...
So they could just still be in here somewhere.
It doesn't feel very promising when I say it like that, though. I really need to go look for them.
Let's regroup.
Yeah.
So they probably left, and at some point in the past, and they probably didn't go outside. They probably went somewhere deeper, and
that's the thought.
That's the. Can we read it again? That part.
Yeah.
Deeper.
I just passed the note to some of the others. There's nothing she wouldn't have shared.
But since Peach doesn't know what this character sounds like, Chris, do a totally different voice when you repeat the information.
Do you want to
read it how Peach would read it in her head?
Oh, God.
Yeah. Peach.
Chris, imitate Peach reading a note. Go.
Of someone named Abina.
The problem is I ad-libbed the letter, so
Oh no! I assumed you had typed. I was like, all right, there've been earthquakes. The whole mine area opened up. What if there's this abyss that opened up here and it went deeper? That's got to be the hint. I'm solving a puzzle that does not exist.
Well,
there be gold in them hills.
I could take you to some of the places that I usually travel. I mean, the easiest paths deeper into the mountain. There might be a sign of them. They could have been smart, others and put some chalk on the walls, or?
Well, I think, I mean, we aren't totally prepared for spelunking, but I think that we should try to get as far as we can and see what we can figure out, and then I guess reevaluate from there and maybe consider heading back with what we've found out so far.
Before we go searching just throughout the temple randomly, Araya, does the High Priestess have a room where she would keep ledgers or maps of places that she would like to explore?
The Coroner's office in like the High Priestess area is like deeper into the temple.
I know what you're talking about. Here, it's the same. I mean, the temple roads that lead deepest are along the same path. So yes, this way.
And highly off limits. Yeah,
And they are. I'm very curious, to be honest. And if no one's around, it's worth checking. But yeah, let's just open each of the doors on our way in deeper.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that too. Just I know it's unlikely that, one or two folks got left behind, but I don't think we should leave any door unopened just in case. Somebody else might have hidden here or taken refuge here. It's not worth not looking.
Yeah.
The letter is unfortunately vague as well, so maybe we can find some other indication with more specifics somewhere else.
Well, Corne might have left something for, not Abina. That's not the right name.
Salois?
Thanks, Sal Luis. I was like, gosh darn. Corne might have left something for Sal Luis in the High Priestess's chambers or in the main study room. There could be. It's a really good thought. We should check.
GM, would you give me a brief description of the kind of setup of the temple? How large is the temple, and how far does it expand? I guess because I think I'm getting a completely different image in my mind.
Sure. If you had to get rough dimensions, 100 feet wide by 150 feet wide by maybe 400 feet deep, and the main chamber is about 40 feet or so tall. It gets the rear end rooms are much smaller in hallways and stuff like that. The main chamber is the bulk of the and sort of the grandiose nature of it.
Got it. Okay, that helps. Thank you.
So you begin to travel deeper into the temple, passing past the dormitory. You get to the communal sort of eating area for the maidens, and there are many low tables and small cushions that people would kneel at to eat. The large square tables you see them covered in litter of food, some of it old, some of it new. There are clay pots and shallow dishes. You can see smears of butter, gravy on the table, and some of the plates, some of them just left unwashed. This looks very different from what you would ever expect to be seeing here. You see at the corner of the table, all along the table there are some books. At the corner of the table there's a small stack of parchments and papers.
I'll rifle through those if I recognize anything, but the unconscious urge to tidy up and clean up after all this stuff is quite high, but she's suppressing it.
Mm-hmm.
Sal is not suppressing it and has been dusting and cleaning as we've been going through the hallways, and is definitely doing that here.
Nice. You find what seems to be like a later page of a letter that was maybe multiple pages long. And it says, knowing that we will return, but we've left everything in order here. If you've made it this far, you're already aware of the danger that waits outside. There should be enough supplies to sustain you until we return. We've taken the sacred text. I feel confident that the Maiden will guide us. It's signed Cornet at the bottom.
I still say we go deeper and look. There's got to be. But how far could they? This is a much bigger thing than I thought it would be. Maybe we should bring.
The chamber after this is like the prayer chamber with the bowl, and beyond that is the caves.
I mean, I think we're here now, and if they're in danger in some way, better to help now than come find their bodies later. But do you think that maybe, like how by us the caves opened up and unleashed something, could there be anything in there that's dangerous? I mean, what if there's more of those put-ins?
Oh no.
Poppy makes some noises. She snatches some food off a table.
We're just walking through this holy place with a fucking dinosaur.
Oh, I never forgot that.
Yeah.
I gave her a speech at the end of last session about being on her best behavior.
How many entrances and exits are we talking about?
Well, I wondered a lot of them. I mean, I feel like I've explored every place you can explore here.
Were they all barred from the inside? If so...
Alright, you never found a tunnel that led...
Yeah, completely, yeah. Just to help me with the things that I'm worried most about, I think I'm going to check some of the easiest places.
Poppy knocks a bowl onto the floor and starts eating.
A question that I think would make sense, if it's kind of like looking around at the table and the sort of mess that's there. She visited probably a few years ago and got a chance to see the outside, but not this part. Is that correct? Like she's never been inside?
Yeah, she would not have been allowed this deep.
Okay. In that case, she'll have to just ask, and she sort of looks at the plates and Rhea and sort of says were they always this messy?
No, I mean, part of service was taking care of the temple we had been granted. This place is a holy place, and treating it with reverence is absolutely part of the Maidens. I spend most of my days sweeping. No one would do this.
I'd say it was the Rough Guts, but there are books out too.
So, it doesn't sound like it was the Rough Guts, and it doesn't sound like it was your people. If they wouldn't treat the pots and they would clean up after themselves, and from everything you read in that letter, I think other people might have been holed up here than your people.
Roll insight or investigation.
Can I?
Can I also do insight?
Anyone who's in this room.
Yeah, I was going to say Peach too, because I had that idea as well.
Goodness! At least I'm not Doc.
Oh boy.
Doc pulled her mask up too high.
And just...
Doc is pulling an Esmond.
Oh, thank God somebody got above a 15. Jeez Louise.
Oh no, Quebec.
Jesus Christ, Casey!
What are the odds?
Just relax.
Hey, he's an intuitive kind of guy.
I'm gonna make frickin' lose it. I'm
It's
gonna lose it.
Mick frickin' lose it.
yes.
Casey, have you rolled less than like an 18?
He got his investigation that saved anybody from being clanged by a bell, so he's done us good.
I just have to admire that they decided to roleplay characters that were so drastically different, and they decided to extend that to their dice rolls. Well done, Isaac and Kevin. Well done.
Ava, you catch, even through all the flowers of your mask, a whiff of some food that's been out for a day too long. It's just overwhelming. Kebeth, some of this food is old, but you are so hungry. You feel your stomach rumbling.
If
Some of
she
this has still got to be good. There's got to be good food here, right? Yeah, I want to look around.
Rhea starts taking up plates,
No.
Ava retches a little bit in the corner, just starts making a few noises. I'm not
No,
gonna repeat.
there's a sink around the corner.
A basin. Casey, you can't help but notice a lot of these stacks of books that have been brought in this room, they're stacked in front of the shelves.
someone was short. Oh.
In front of the shelves, like they're blocking the shelves?
No, it's like if someone needed to get up higher.
It's serious mistreatment of books, and I do not approve.
None of the priestesses were really short, were they? Araya?
I mean, we have priestesses of all sorts, but
So whoever was staying in here, he kind of steps up onto the stack of books, stands up on it. It's pretty short.
You can see some of the spines are already broken. Somebody's already been standing on these. They're kind of squishy. Priestess would never do that.
don't hurt the books any worse. These are important.
I have to move to the next room. Ava starts moving towards whatever.
Yeah, Ava, you stumble forward to the next room, throw the door open. But the scent's even worse. Musky, thick. In this room is a large pool inset into the floor, high ceiling. Lots of what's the word? Mosaic, murals, in interior curve of the ceiling and the walls. Incense along the edges of the room. Nothing lit currently. Very clearly a place of worship. But what catches you most, certainly, is the back of the room. Big, giant pile of furniture like the ones you've seen before, barring the door from your side. Barring a door that leads deeper into the temple. And in the pool itself, slumbering, snoring, is Dirge Pothammer, one of the rough guts. Food piled along the sides of the sacred pool. He's clearly asleep. There's a big cask of wine.
I'm about to get indignant up in y'all.
The door slams open. Has the other wave of smell hit. Covers her mouth for a second. Tries to catch her breath for a little bit. Turns back towards the others. I found the old man.
Does he have food?
Cypher hops over.
Which old
She stumbles back away from the dwarf into the other room trying to get air.
Cypher shines the lantern, like, just bright right in his face and everything.
He stirs, but he's clearly deeply drunk, asleep, snoring.
Doc, did you at least check to see if he was lab before you jump back over here?
He's snoring.
He's alive.
Can I investigate, see if any of the
Say that again, Kebeth.
Beth wants to investigate and see if any of the food is still
Oh
edible.
yeah, definitely. He's got the good stuff in here.
Okay. Well, she just immediately sits down and starts eating. Does not offer to anyone else unless they come over. If they do, she's like, it's good.
You said there was
Cypher
a pool of
splashes
water?
water into his face.
Yeah, it's a sacred pool. That's probably about 5 feet wide, circular. It's places where, yeah, you splash water in his face. He wakes up. Starts to get up, but he's still drunk, so he stumbles, and like his hand slips, and he kind of half falls over.
Where's Araya right now, Jeff?
She's just stepped into the room and she's looked at him, but also looked at the door that's been blocked at the far end of the room. And she's filling with something kind of like righteous rage right now that this is.
Be gone, demons. You're not real. You're not real. Be gone.
Well, it looks like you made yourself cozy. What the hell happened here?
He's just gonna just gently take Araya's arm.
This pool is sacred. And you just...
You're covered in it.
Oh, I know it's sacred. I didn't use this one for... yeah.
Ugh.
That's the other one.
Oh no. The priestesses, where are they?
I don't know. Are you real? Oh, wait. He kind of comes to himself. He backs up a little bit, points at Araya.
The priestesses.
The priestesses, where are they?
No, you don't understand. That one's it. That one. She's responsible. I read it in the letters.
Esmond is going to step forward and point his wand at Dirge. Sober the fuck up and answer our questions now.
And Peach
Do
gently
not
steps in
accuse
front of
her
Araya.
of anything.
Peach still has Araya's hand, and she steps in front of her, just a half step, pushing Araya slightly behind her skirts.
It's really you. You've come to see. How did you get here?
We came up the path. We came to see if the priestesses needed our aid.
How did you survive the beasts?
We killed the beasts.
Some of us tame the beasts, say Salinger.
We'll just say he walks in the room at that moment and sees Dirge.
Yeah, and Poppy like peeks around your shoulder. His eyes go wide and he points.
We saw the skeletons outside, but the maidens, they left messages saying that they had gone to explore, that the maiden had guided them. Where? Where did they go?
His eyes are wild. He looks across the faces of each of you. His breathing's heavy, but it's starting to slow down. He says, I'm really here. Okay. He looks at each of you and he looks at Araya for a moment more. He says, you keep that one away from me.
I am happy to stay away from you.
We each journeyed from the town, coming here, looking for that one. Accosted on the road by the beasts, drove us into the tunnels in the mountains. Only a few of us survived it. Made our way here, harried by the creatures. We tried to fight them at the narrow door. We killed what we could, but there were more coming. The others fell. I closed the doors, and I barred them up. And inside, well, the people that were supposed to be here, they were gone. And I found the letters, blaming that one, holding that one responsible for everything that's happening and going bad. And they traveled. They went to, and he gets quiet, and he glances over at the door that's barred in the back of the room. And shakes his head a little bit. They're dead.
How do you know?
No, they're dead.
Answer her question. How do you know?
Did you?
I saw where they gone. I saw where they gone went.
But where'd they go? I've traveled all over the temple and through all the caves. There's nothing to be afraid of in there.
Shakes his head and looks at the door warily. No, that's where they went.
Doc spits a little bit, pulls the mask down back over her face. After wiping her chin, then how did they die, if you know?
I just know.
He doesn't know nothing. He barred the door behind them. They might be just beyond that. Araya, this is your place. This is your temple. Are you fine with us pushing through this and ignoring this fella?
I promise you that this problem is bigger than any one girl could cause. First of all, Coronet, the current High Priestess, likes to take the easy route and blame others for things she has no control over. There are good priestesses beyond that door, and if you have blocked them and prevented them from coming back, and if you have eaten all their supplies and left them with nothing, I will punish you. I will hold you accountable for their deaths and not some monster that's outside that you were too scared to even fight and left your friends behind, and we found their bodies.
I fought side by side with them at the door, and they died. And there was more. There was more of those things.
And yet you live, and you've blocked off the priestess's only means of coming back to the light.
Beth had immediately stopped eating when Araya said about eating all the supplies. She just puts down whatever she took a bite out of something and just puts it back down. And she's like, yeah, no, definitely not him.
There was no one here. Who better to eat it but me? Who better than survive?
Save your breath.
The town is mostly safe. You can make your way back to it with us when we leave this place, but we are going to see what happened to my priestesses. We're going to see where... If they're just on the other side of that door and you listened when they could have been saved, so help me, Maiden, I will find...
No, you can't open that door. You don't know what could be there.
There could be anything, but it would be worse than not knowing. And she starts, taking a pot and a chair from the door.
Wait.
If Dirge moves to take any action, Seifrid will be on him.
Yeah, he starts to try to get out of the pool.
She will pin him with a foot, and her black spiky shadowy tentacles seem to spread across the floors and the wall around him like a cage.
You pin him down, and he's too drunk to really do anything about it. And his eyes grow wide as he sees the shifting tentacles.
I'd find some way to relax.
He was trying to slow Araya down from throwing everything to the side.
But if they're just beyond this door...
But it was more than 6 months ago. They're not just waiting on the other side.
They took supplies. It's not that deep. You can go all the way to the end and back in under a day. I know these ways.
You can't carry 6 months worth of supplies with you.
We have to know, though, don't we?
There's no reason to be this defeatist either, Ava.
I'm not being defeatist. I'm saying I think we just spent the entire day traveling. He's clearly still drunk, and anything that we find on the other side can wait just long enough for us to have him sober up just enough that he won't be this. And she points to the drunk dwarf under Seifrid's foot.
He ain't gonna help us, though.
Yeah.
He's just gonna run back to town.
It's not exactly safe to run back to town without us as an escort.
He's gonna come with us.
I'm prepared for the worst, Ava, but I can't... What if only one of them is hanging on? There's water all throughout these caves. You can survive a long time without food.
Not 6 months.
There's mushrooms and...
Even if they're not alive anymore, at the very least we can take care of their bodies and put them somewhere respectful.
Yeah, I'm not waiting Peach starts tearing pots and things down too.
It's just a few hours. It's not going to make that much of a difference.
What does
He's
it?
not gonna help.
It's just a few hours, but it's just a few hours. It doesn't matter good or bad. He's
Ava,
scared.
I think he should have to go down there. And I don't think we can take him the way he is.
Why does
Why
he have
should
to
we
go
take-
down
I
there?
don't think that he should go. I can take care of him like this. If something goes wrong, I have a way to let you know, and I would rather babysit the drunk coward than one who's more sober and capable. We should figure out what we're going to figure out here, and then we should go back.
Okay.
Peach throws like another chair down to the side and it says, directing toward Ava, if he sobers up, then I give it a 50-50 chance that he pulls some kind of knife and tries to kill Araya because he thinks she brought the apocalypse upon us. I don't want him with our group when he wants her dead.
I think that a while ago I would have thought the same thing, but he and the rest of them died trying to do something that we succeeded in. I think all of us are stronger than him. I think we're stronger together, and leaving anyone behind just makes us weaker, even if it's just one person to babysit the drunk.
Well, then he can sober up on the way down these caverns. He can just come with us.
You feel safe enough bringing him along, knowing that he believes that you're the anti-light?
Well,
I mean, what's the worst that will happen? He falls in a hole.
I mean, what if he goes after Araya? Do you feel safe? I don't want.
He's gonna have to get through me and the rest of us if he wants to go to Araya. It'll be fine.
yeah, I'm with my friends. How much can he do? And if
Salinger, talk some sense into them.
During the course of this, Sal had actually walked up and put a hand on his shoulder and was helping him out of the pool.
Seifert has like a foot
If
on
Seifert,
him.
if Seifert sees that, then can make a choice when I put a hand on his shoulder and try to help him up.
She'll relent, but she's still being sort of actively intimidating, and kind of maintains like a periphery, like separating them from where people are unbarricading the door.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Dirge is deeply drunk. It smells of wine. So, don't let him do it.
you know that wine is for sacred ceremonies.
Dirge, what shouldn't have been let to happen is what you did to this place while you were here. If anything, first step you could do is clean yourself up, and then start cleaning this place up while we figure out what went wrong. Now come on, I'll walk you over to somewhere you can sit that's not in a pile of your own stench.
Okay.
So he's going to try and manage Dirge into a calmer state while you guys clear the path, if Dirge will let him and Seifert.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Just like pass through the doorway back into the food, like the eating area, right? We're just not directly on with all of you. And you see Poppy like sniffs at him a few times, and he.
She won't bite unless you do anything else stupid.
Cypher drops the actively menacing act, and will kind of like if they're sort of like sitting in like the like leave the room where there was like a food hall and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
She'll kind of like lean diagonally in the doorway, keeping a careful eye.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and you see he sits down, kind of on the like for him, like the table's about chair height. And he kind of slumps a little bit, and he's breathing heavy. He's clearly, still super drunk. He'll be drunk for a while. By this point, you've cleared almost all of the chairs and things. Esmond, go.
I was going to say that while everyone else was clearing out the door, Esmond, after Dirge was moved into the kitchen area, eating area, he would have approached Dirge, frustrated with him, but calmly. Dirge, where are those letters that you referenced that blame Aurea for all of this?
We're over there, next room in the corner.
Esmond's going to walk away and go find those letters, and if I can find them, I would like to read through them while the doorway's being cleared to see if I can learn anything.
Yeah, Esmond, you move in there, you find there's a bunch of just like loose papers and things like that, and you find them, begin to order them, begin to read. Aurea and all the people who are working on the door, he managed to drag the last pot out of the way and move the last chair. And pushing open the doors, and there's a smear of daylight that comes through the door onto your side. Esmond, as you read the letters, looks like letters written by Coronet, the High Priestess, left here in charge of the temple in Sal Luis's absence. You see sketches. You see notes taken in the margins and the main body of text in the middle. It says, Dear Sal Luis, the appearance of this phenomenon could not be anything other than a remarkable sign of the Maiden. She has shown us a way to a better place. And it's there we must travel. And the letter continues, but you feel light coming. You see light squints, or makes your eyes squint for a moment as it comes to the door. As you throw the doors open, hovering above one of those sacred pools of water, and where the man-made stone becomes natural caves, is a tear in the world, just like the one you saw in the forest. And through it, you see dunes of desert sand, daylight coming through, as it hovers just above the water, filling the room with light. You see a purple-hued sky, a crescent moon in the day, enormous rolling dunes of sand, windswept.
Casey, do not throw fire at that.
Nobody stick your damn arms in either.
Oh.
They went in there.
No, but this is better, don't you see? This means they're not just in the mountain. This is better.
Is this an opening to the same place that the Arnacuses are coming from, or is this a different place?
It looks different.
Looks different.
Do you think they'll have food there?
Well, there's a lot of sand.
Can't sand doesn't taste very good.
You've eaten? No, never mind.
I mean, it could be the same world, but certainly not the same place.
I mean, does the sky and Peach? I don't remember the description of the dinosaur world through the other rift.
That was
does the sky match and things?
No, that was like grasslands and.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Purple sky, though. And a moon. No wonder why Coronet felt compelled. It opened here in the temple. But if they can go through, then things like the Arnarchus can come through this way too. But if we close it... She turns back to Esmond and to Casey. If we close it, then the priestesses can never come back.
Esmond isn't in the room currently.
Oh. Well, she turns around to everybody else. We can't close it.
And if there's more than one, it's probably not much of a point to closing it either.
Yeah, this seems less of a one rip repair and more like someone's poked holes in our entire world.
Well, if it's been 6 months, there's probably not a whole lot of point in waiting.
Well, but let's think, though, too. If it's been 6 months and nothing bad at least has come out, we surely see evidence of it in the room around here, so maybe we can leave this one open safely. Maybe there aren't monsters on the other side of this one.
Esmond will come back into the room holding a handful of papers and just looking down the papers, he's just announcing to everybody, hey, I found those letters that Dirge had mentioned. I don't know what he's talking about. There's nothing that references or blames Aurea on this. It was written by the High Priestess.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Do you think they just got lost, maybe? I mean, we could get lost if we go.
Well, we shouldn't go, but it means that they're probably they're someplace else, but they're not wandering endless caverns. That's good, right?
We can't go through that right now, but let's
No.
eliminate the things that we can. Let's make sure that they didn't go deeper. Who knows? Maybe they went through and then they came back, but the doors were barred.
They didn't. I don't think they. Esmond's flipping through the letters. I don't think they would have come back. Aurea, is there any mention in any of the texts or the history or anything about the Maiden thrice that mentions anything even remotely close to this? The High Priestess believed that whatever this phenomenon was a sign from the Maiden herself.
Can I roll religion?
Yes, please do. How'd you do?
I got a 20.
Dirty 20. Nicely done. Well, nothing that refers directly to this, but in the texts, there's mention of the maidens bringing water to a place and a people that are without it. Now, that's always been read metaphorically as bringing like the tenets of your faith to people who are lacking. But if someone were to take that literally.
Well, it would be hard to ignore something like this appearing in the middle of your temple, and a temple devoted to water and healing water, a hole to a land without. She would have certainly seen it as a sign to do what the Maiden has called everyone to do, which is to bring that water to those without. And so I imagine she felt in the core of her a purpose without knowing everything else that had, it seems that they had left before the dwarves had arrived, that they never even spoke. So it'd be hard to not misconstrue this as a guidance from the Maiden without knowing that there had been other such portals. But can I see those letters? If how is he getting the wrong idea? I mean,
Yeah, Esmond will pass the letters along. DM, the letters aren't dated at all, are they?
No, they're not dated, but they seem fair. Like, the ink's still pretty dark. So, I mean, like, not years and years old or anything like that.
Yeah, I was looking for a more specific recent date, but pass the letters along to Araya at her request. And while she's looking at them, Esmond's actually going to pull out a number of tools and stuff, and he's going to, hey, everyone, give me like 11-ish minutes, give or take. I'm gonna see what I can figure out about all this. So just no one go running in there.
Casey's pretty close looking in there.
I need you to. Boy, I really want to look at this as well, but I want all of us to step back before any of us actually look at it.
Not that I'm implying that anyone's going to do anything, but if you wanted to touch the portal or pass through the portal without stepping in the sacred pool, you would have to jump.
Maybe we could drudge through.
That's a pretty incredible assumption of respecting the sanctity of the pools.
Jumping's no problem.
Yeah, give Miss just desserts.
Maybe that's up for a later discussion, perhaps. But for now, just give me 10 or so minutes. Just everyone, don't touch the portal. This is very different and much larger than the other one. It could be benign or it could be incredibly more dangerous. Give me some time and I'll see what I can determine. Yeah.
yeah.
Kind of reminds me of my aunt,
Well, how?
Sandy. He steps back a little bit.
Casey. Array is going to rifle through the letters and go back to the hall that had all the papers and the books and the letters and like search around for stuff.
10 minutes? I'm gonna go deeper in the cave.
With all of the obvious bright light and commotion and everything, Seyfried will kind of give a nod to Salinger and then back into the room where we found the drunken dwarf, and then kind of sidestep and turn to take a look at the new area for herself.
Just as a note, Array, I answered your question in Roll20, but I give you more information on the DM just to be safe.
To be clear, DM, I am ritual casting Detect Magic.
I'm watching Esmond. I'm just sitting there, not eating.
In the other room, Dirge looks at Sal and says, "There's something wrong with the world. It's breaking all around. Beast's supposed to be gone. Sky I'd never seen. Doors opening without walls. What's going on, Sal?"
You really think I'm smart enough to have any idea?
You read books. I see you reading books.
I mean, there's books and stories of far-off places and strange things, but things that were around a long time ago, I guess the Aranakis fits that. You're older than me. You were probably around when some of this stuff was occurring. Nothing of this rings a bell to you?
It wasn't like this. We fought them off. They were gone. Except all the ones I left behind. Like that one. He glances over through the doorway. Towards Araya, but, he doesn't move.
She ain't what you fought. She's a shadow of it. She's a echo of something else bad, just like fingerprints or footprints in the dirt. She ain't a cause of anything. It's like saying that little tadpoles going on the shore have anything to do with a big old monster fish in the middle of a lake. They're not the same.
So many bad things. So we fought a war. We did our time.
And you think that war's coming back? That's what you believe?
Too old to be fighting again.
Yeah. And I'm too young to start. So what do? Too old, too young, too drunk? Did you see what was on the other side of that passway you blocked?
Dead place. Sands don't end. It's waiting to swallow us all.
Put your hand through there?
Just once.
Which one?
This one.
Does it look terrifyingly mangled or dehydrated and mummified?
No.
Looks all right to me. Yeah, the world's breaking. Sky don't look right. Seas are all wrong. Woods that used to be peaceful are filled with all kinds of monsters and things. But it's the world we're in now. So clean up, clear up, and it'll kill us or we'll find a way to survive in it.
He seems to relax a bit more. Roll persuasion. Advantage. $16. Yeah, he seems to relax. Let me sleep for a bit. Let me sleep it off. His voice goes lower. He goes, sacred wine. It's good.
Yeah, I bet it was. He's gonna pat him on the back a little hard and then walk to the other room to join everybody else.
Okay. Yeah, and you see he kind of finds a place to kind of lean to try to sleep it off.
Walk in the room and see a giant void into a desert now.
Right. Asmund, you finish casting your spell.
So instead of taking 2 vials of oil, agitating them and rubbing them on his glasses, he still puts on his glasses, but as a ritual cast, he instead pulls out a series of tools and small trinkets and pulls out a single leather glove that he pulls onto his left hand and begins attaching the series of wires and brass nuts and bolts to it that he simultaneously takes one wire and connects it to his prosthetic hand, to the prosthetic on his right hand. And when he rubs the 2 gloves together, a spark begins to the spark erupts and a low hum begins to emanate from him, and you see kind of a almost translucent bubble begin to expand from his hands and kind of just encompass him. And he just holds his hands forward and will begin walking towards the portal, and he will rub his hands and gesture across various aspects of it to see what he can learn.
And yeah, you immediately discover the nature of this phenomenon is the same as the one in the forest. However, this one is larger and slightly more stable. If you had to estimate, based on your previous experience, it would take 30 points of lightning damage in a single blow to destroy this one.
Similar nature and almost seemingly natural occurring, almost tear, but more set in self. It's not fluctuating.
Natural is not the proper word, but it is not the result of a spell. It's more chaotic than that. It's definitely a magical phenomenon, an effect of something, but something that's not the organized sort of magical effect in the way that a deliberately cast spell is. There's an order and an organization to that in the aura. This is more chaotic, so this is something maybe unintentional, maybe the side effect of a spell.
So you know how to make one now?
Yeah. By observing two incredibly different, though seemingly similar portals, I have determined now how to create and establish my own. I've mastered extraplanar travel and study. Yeah. I am a master of this school of magic now.
I mean, that's what we think, anyways. But I have a feeling that you're not being serious.
I'm being so incredibly sarcastic. I cannot truly express how out of my depth I am here, guys. I this is I'm an engineer. This is a whole new field of study. Gilgame barely touched on extraplanar study, and anything else that I've learned in the past 6 months, I've barely begun to understand just by reading a handful of books that we happen to have in the village. I'm able to determine we can destroy this. It's and immediately turns to Rhea. We're not going to, not until we have a discussion. But we can close this. We can destroy this portal. It's not incredibly dissimilar from the other one where the Arnakis seem to be coming from, but it's also more stable. It's set. It's not fluctuating the same way that other portal is. It's also, I don't know if it's a result of it being a greater tear or just that the nature of it is slightly varied, but it's clearly a strong enough tear to allow for whatever's on the other side of it to pass over, not just creatures, but the environment itself. I don't know what to make of that, though.
Shall I go through and back?
But what if you can't come back?
And that's also a concern. What if there is no means of coming back?
What if you're your bird? Could he go and come back, but if he couldn't come back, you wouldn't lose him? Or, that's what I thought I understood, but I don't understand.
No, he can, as a fey creature, he can be dismissed back into the fey realm, and I can call him back here if he does get stuck over there. Zeph, you feeling like a road trip to somewhere else?
She turns to Zeph and is like, only if you want to. I just want to know if they're safe, if they could come back, if they needed to come back.
Yeah, Zephyrus kind of flutters around, looks back and forth between the two of you, and drifts close to Araya. A little closer.
She kind of holds out a hand for him if you want.
Zephyrus' personal space, but we've talked about this.
No, it's okay.
He starts to back up, but then when you say it's okay, he drifts closer again, flutters over your hand. Flutters a little closer. He licks your eyeball.
She makes much the same face. Oh, there's water everywhere. You don't. Oh. That's okay, Zeph. If that's the payment, that's good. Yep.
He zips over to the portal, kind of floats in front of it.
All right, bud. If you manage to make it back, I promise you a great bowl of sugar water. Let me take control for a minute and let's see what we can find out, yeah? And Esmond will step out of the room, and he will cross his legs, sit down, close his eyes, and I will move my perspective to Zephyrus and make my way through the portal.
All right. Click unfamiliar for me, please.
It says that if he remains within 100 feet of me, I can telepathically communicate, but there's no mention of how far a distance maintaining connection is allowed.
Well, let's see.
Seems fine then. You have control. But you can only do this part within 100 feet though, like where you're in his senses.
Oh, really? I thought it was that I can only speak with him telepathically within 100 feet, but there's no mention in the spell of keeping the perspective through his eyes from however great a distance.
Yeah, I think that part is implied, and I think that's the way I want that to work, because I don't think I want you to scout with him for miles, but you can send him off and he can come back and tell you things. But in terms of looking through his eyes, I think 100 feet.
Okay, I kind of... all right, good. Clarification made. In that case, I promise him some sugar water, and I will send him on his way.
Wormhole physics! What if it's 100 feet almost instantaneously?
Oh, gosh.
Case.
Okay.
Casey is near the portal there and moves over to Sal as Zephyrus gets closer. It's kind of like asking a dog to climb a tree, isn't it? Don't learn much about the nature of climbing trees that way.
Yeah, I want to jump in too.
Yes. So as... Okay, yeah. Zephyrus passes through the portal, and the event horizon ripples a little bit, and you see him kind of go through on the other side. You immediately lose telepathic communication with Zephyrus. And you see him zip back and forth a little bit, and flies up out of your view.
Flies up with an airplane noise.
Yeah, that's what he sounds like.
Cannon now.
Okay. Boy, I'm immediately concerned about this. All right, I hope that he's okay.
I'm sorry to ask it of you and him.
No, don't apologize. He can't he can't die necessarily, but he can still feel pain, but he's also he really helped me out in the past couple months. So I just don't want him to be hurt.
I don't want him to be hurt either. I want him to come back safely. It feels rather heartless what I asked. I'm sorry.
It's not heartless. If he wasn't for it, he wouldn't have done it, and he does really like sugar water, so he'll do nearly anything for that stuff.
You're teaching me how to manipulate your bird. Good to know.
That's not what that was. You've been
No,
spending
I
too
just
much time
proper
around Seyfried.
incentives.
That's we'll get this sorted out with your family, I promise.
But it's so much better than if they were in the caverns and stuck in like a collapse or something. It's so much better.
I hope so. This is so weird.
Zephyrus. I'm sorry, not Zephyrus. Asmund, you roll a perception check as you're talking to her. Yeah.
Perception, you said?
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yeah.
Oh no.
You Yeah. No. Perfect.
I'm distracted by talking to Araya.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you are.
A few months later, there's a ripple, and Zephyrus comes back through. You get the impression, just telepathically, and this is indistinct, not details, but you get the abstract impression of sand as far as you can see, mountains just barely on the horizon, and a glint, like a reflection, like sunlight hitting a mirror at the very edge of the horizon.
Buddy, I'm glad you're okay.
I'm so glad.
Esmond will pull out a small glass of vial, shake it around a little bit, pop off the cork, and hold it aloft for Zephyrus to stick his beak in and drink some sugar water. As he does this, he announces to everybody, well, nothing. There's sand, desert, for miles and miles as far as Zeph could see. I think it's there's no signs of life or civilization, at least not within the immediate vicinity of the portal. There's some mountains, but that's about it.
And the glinting light was in the same direction as the mountains.
You said that to all of us?
Yeah, I announced it to everybody.
And you're close enough to hear even. Oh yeah, you're in the room now. Yeah.
No sign of the priestesses, or
Not that he was able to distinguish. At least, if we wanted to get a better look, we'd have to pass through the portal ourselves. But as far as he's able to communicate with me, there is nothing out there currently.
So if they went through, they're not nearby.
You would I mean, you would estimate, well, like, there could be some variance, but if the priestesses were not there when Dirge got here, then they went through months and months and months ago.
Yeah, I think the maidens would have gone through, if not long before, then at least shortly before Dirge got here. Yeah. They've been gone for months now. There's no way to determine where they are on that side.
But as you didn't see any bodies or anything right outside the portal, right? There's no sign of their deaths either.
No, but it's also a desert with constantly changing sands and winds. Like it's entirely possible that some of them would have perished for whatever reason after crossing over, and there's no way of knowing if they're buried around that area or not.
It's
Isn't it
more
kind of a
questions.
Basically, yes.
kind of a better story if they continued on their pilgrimage instead of being buried right under the sand right here, though, right?
I mean, the verdict isn't going to want to hear a story.
Well, he just wanted the available land, and
I could care less what the verdict wants.
no, it's just that I'm not about to go through the portal when there's so many people here, and that I feel that Coronet was misguided in her choice to go through the portal. She didn't understand that it wasn't unique to the Maiden's Temple. Maybe there are less predators prowling in the desert than in where the Aranakis had come from, the other one. So maybe it's okay if this portal stands until they make a pilgrimage back.
At the very least, we've determined what he wanted us to look into, right? The temple is safe. I mean, barring this portal and what we decide to do with it, but say what we will about Dirge, but he did prevent any Aranakis from getting inside. We could potentially move the village here.
Not move the village here. It's a matter of using the land to help the village as like a satellite, not everyone coming here. There isn't space enough. But what I'm thinking is you all might need to head back to the town, and someone needs to get the temple in order, and weed the garden at least. I know a thing or two about the temple itself and the gardens.
Well, I'll stick
You
around and
can't
help
stay
you.
here.
It wouldn't be alone. I would just be getting things. I mean, we need the vegetables for the villagers. We need, some more of them can come up here and help us farm. This isn't a bountiful land of flourishing gardens and farms. We got to do what we can with whatever land we've got.
Yeah, Safford and I think, are just saying we don't want you feeling like you got to do it alone.
I'd love help, but I just think that the temple's standing. The temple is a safe place. Sal, do you think we should tell the other dwarf that didn't survive the... You're better off delivering that news than me.
I think he knows he's the one left, and nobody else made it. And I don't mean to overstep, Aurea, but seeing as the entirety of the rest of your order's gone on a pilgrimage into another world, I'd say you are the standing authority on the Maiden thrice in at least this immediate area, so whatever your decision is about this space, I think we just follow it.
Well, the
Or to be
order,
damned.
but we live to serve, and being of service would be providing people with the much needed winter vegetables. Our stores aren't going to last for forever. It's not about abandoning the town, is what I understood. The town also is necessary territory we can't give up.
Yeah, and the town's reinforced. We've put sweat and tears into making that place as safe as we can, and we've set up the shifts and all. I think we're all in agreement that nobody's gonna move here permanently necessarily, but we know it's safe, so we can.
What I'm thinking is that obviously this place wasn't being cared for the past several months. So we could all return, report what we've learned, and figure out who is going to come here for the purposes of cultivation and do it in an intentional step-by-step way rather than leaving anyone behind at this moment.
And to be clear, we're not going to do a scouting mission into the mysterious portal into the desert.
No.
Not
Just double
right
check.
now.
I don't think that we're equipped for that kind of trip. Not currently, at least.
All right. Hey, Aurea, before we start heading out, is there anything we should bring back with us?
Yeah, I was going to ask as well. If there's anything you want to carry back, we can all help.
Yeah, I have a few things in my bags that I need to leave here, but there seem to be some vegetables that were ripe out in the garden. Maybe if some of the sheep are amenable to going back to the town where they could be better kept.
Actually, I might have a solution to that. And he looks back at the portal. Yeah, I think I have a solution to that. Give me the night. And we should be able to easily bring a bunch of food and other items with us back to the village.
I feel like staying the night's a good choice. Araya, we can help you tidy up too some if you want.
I would love that, yes. And I guess if we only have the one door, yeah, make this place safe for the night too. I can show you some of the the nicer rooms.
Sal leans into Aurea during the course of this conversation and says, I know you're always thinking about everybody but yourself, but when I said bring things back, I meant things that are important to you about this place, about your beliefs, not just food for everyone.
Oh, I'm not abandoning my temple.
Just in case. A few things. You've been living with us for months.
Well, all the things that I care about are with me now. It's you all, really. We didn't live a life with things.
Oh God!
Some fruits baskets.
Am I sweet? Am I sweet enough for the little bird?
Sal clutches his chest.
I think I'm gonna throw up. I've had too much sugar.
So nice.
All take damage.
Anyone takes cute damage.
Volunteer to take psychic damage.
I let my comments stand.
All right, I got one more thing. Well, if you don't need to bring anything back, can I have some stuff?
What do you mean, Sal? There's no. Even the dwarf
I always really liked that statue in the third hallway in the second alcove.
Oh, the one where she's holding the chalice and
Mhm.
pouring it onto her feet. That is a nice one. I believe the artisan had made that. Oh, like 500 years ago, I think. It's beautiful.
The textures on the robe look like they would just flow if you put your hands on them. I never dared to touch the thing. Maybe I could at least just pick it up before we go.
I don't see why not. I just don't think you should take it with you. It belongs. I mean, that alcove was carved specifically for it.
Yeah, Salander, as the person who is currently the proprietor of the place where most of us all are saying, I will have to veto adding a statue to the retinue at the Wanderlust, as it is too gigantic and it
It's
does
more-
belong here.
Wait,
It's more of a figurine,
Yeah.
really.
Well, we can leave it here anyway.
I have an idea. Everyone make a DC 20 charisma saving throw. Roll
Me
against,
too?
roll against wholesome.
Oh, but if I'm the wholesome one, I don't.
You don't have to make it.
Dirty 20.
As of one of the few rolls you shouldn't make, as
It's
you
perfect.
either excel.
He's building up resistance.
Is it a charisma save or just a check?
Saving throw.
Are you blessed still?
Who, me? Oh, no, I shouldn't be. Sorry.
Is that everyone?
It's still
Okay,
funny
so-
though.
Alright, DC 20. If you failed it, you get inspiration.
Oh, man.
Oh, well, Casey. To be fair, your first roll is just a 9.
It's true, but
Yeah.
No, I didn't do a saving throw. It's the same number. Doesn't matter.
You don't get an inspiration, as I'm sorry.
I hate this fucking game.
Poor.
So as
You know what
dice.
pain last season, like where I just failed everything all the time, and I was like, "This game fucking sucks and can't do anything." And then I'd wait an hour for the next turn, and I was like, "All right, cool."
Oh yeah, the
Shit
curse.
was rigged.
The curse passed to Esmond. It's like it follows.
I mean, I haven't grailed greatest path either. I think I'm just sharing the curse at this point. I'm sorry.
I was about to theorize it had something to do with lightning.
Mmm. Chris.
Ooh.
Storm cursed.
The
Hey, I'm
Now I
actually
kind of ship Ez and Astariel.
you
Star's
ship
team.
everyone. It does not. It's just implied. It's just implied that if there are two characters, they, Chris, the world through the portal. Out of curiosity,
Mhm.
I didn't understand in the description. Is the sky alien as well in terms of like the moon is not ours and the sun is not ours?
Yes. You didn't see the sun, but the sky is a purple hue. There's a crescent moon, which you could see.
Not
Yeah.
a shattered moon. Got it.
I specifically asked about the sky when I asked for the description of the thing. So yes, we have.
Cool. Just making sure. Thanks.
And it doesn't look like the sky in the Feywild or anything, right?
No. Feywild has 2 moons.
Cool.
These are very important questions.
We need to name these places.
It's true. Oh wait, yeah. I guess what's his name? Zephyrus communicates something more to Esmond. Well, he has something more to communicate, but he's looking at the jar.
Oh, smart.
I already popped it open for him. I've been holding it for him to.
Oh, you didn't close it back up? Okay, yeah, he has some more.
Okay. Can Zephyrus make a charisma save?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Yes, please.
Do you have a stat sheet for?
No, I don't have anything. I've been rolling just from the game.
Just roll a 20.
Oh, Zephyrus gets inspiration.
Cool. I don't know how that fucking works. I don't have a
Hey,
sheet for him.
but take it.
Yeah, does that transition to me, Chris?
No, it's just for Zephyrus. Zephyrus communicates to you though that through the portal, on the other side there are 3 suns. S-U-N-S.
How much time passed for that little bean?
Okay, well, that would have been good to know earlier, buddy. Okay, we gotta figure out a better means of communication outside of you withholding information to get what you want. There's
Clever
also
doesn't
3
understand
sons.
why.
There's also 3 sons over there, so just another question to the pile.
Hopefully they rise and set at the same time. What if it's only day? No, wait, there's a moon. It's nighttime right now.
No, it's, you can see moons in the daytime.
I think that we should, in the meantime, close the door to this portal area. And I guess get ourselves situated for the night and grab what we need for the trip back tomorrow.
I agree.
Dwarf has been here months. Maybe ask him if anything's come through in that time.
Oh, DM, Esmond has been here once or twice. The healing pools, are they still accessible?
The ones on the front are. You weren't allowed this deep in the temple before. Oh wait,
Okay.
no. Wait. Oh no, I kind of snuck you guys here. Yeah, when you guys
I
did-
snuck
Oh, wait, no. Casey and Peach.
and Peach only.
We've been in the deep pools.
Yeah, you probably, more than likely, when you were here, you were not allowed past the main front chamber.
Could also go for small dips, I guess, while we're here. Take advantage of the healing waters for a little bit of relief before we leave.
Yeah,
Sounds
I
great.
can. Yeah, I could take you to some of the nicer places. I just have a few rituals to do that haven't been observed in quite some time, and it matters.
A little early for a hot tub episode.
Well,
Never too early for a hot tub episode. Don't you dare.
Array, is the ritual something that you'd like our help with, or that we should leave you to do privately?
It's usually done in private. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I wanna help if you want help, and leave you to
yeah.
your peace if you want peace.
I would ask for help. Mostly it's, picking up after the dwarf. I'm sorry to leave such a banal task.
No,
to
I'm
you
happy
all.
to. I'm happy to start cleaning up while you.
Maybe make the dwarf pick up after himself a little.
Not
Oh, he
talking to
will.
him.
Thank you, Sal.
Do you have a room or somewhere that I can mess around and tinker? I've got the thing that I have. I'll just need some time and place with light, though I can do the light myself. I need a bench or a table or something.
One
I mean,
thing-
Ez can probably go tinker in your room, Araya.
Yeah, I won't be using it for a little while if you wanted to.
One thing worth mentioning. That was a quick comeback. One thing worth mentioning is that you have not yet been to Cornet's office.
Araya is definitely
Oh.
going in that direction for the observable rights.
I think it. I think it behooves us to actually look through to see if the head priestess has any other writings we can find about this.
Yeah. Let's do that, and then we can split off to do what we need to do.
I don't just run fast, I also speed read.
Oh, Kaveth, you'd be perfect. Please, there's an office just around the portal. How much space do we need to give it? What if it expands and teleports me through instantly?
I don't want to say it's not feasible, but it, as far as I can tell immediately, at least, it does not appear to be fluctuating anymore. I don't think it's expanding any further than.
You should be able to come back anyway. We established that.
Yeah, Zephyrus was able to come through, so if
That's a little different than one of us all. He's made of different stuff, isn't he?
I mean, he's a living thing.
Bird parts.
Yeah, but the makeup of the portal is not too dissimilar from the Aranakis tear, where I was able to place my hand in and then pull back. If we weren't able to return, I wouldn't have been able to pull my hand back through. I don't think so. I think we're okay.
Shall I toss a book through?
No. She if you have a book in your hand at this moment, she leaps at you.
I do.
She leaps at you. Be prepared to be.
I dodge.
Son of a.
She goes through the portal. Just kidding.
Stay a wild episode.
Oh no, we know how those go.
That's not that biome.
I know that you were joking, Chris, but I want an alternate universe where that does happen. Where she says no and just dives through the portal.
These are the scenes that we should put in the fanfiction stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. All of the what ifs.
Noted.
Peach on a bridge and Casey and Yev have just fallen to their deaths.
So the only place we have left
After the first episode, Allie. It's the second one.
That's not why I made that face.
we went to the only place we haven't explored so far is that one more office and the infinite caves that go into the back. I mean, I did 10 minutes of the caves, but that's it, right? Okay. Okay.
So the portal isn't blocking access to the caves, right?
No. You can just walk around it.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's make sure it's safe, right? And then whatever.
She gives the portal quite a bit of berth as she walks around it to head back to the office.
Yeah. You get back to the office where the high priestesses or at least the high-ranking priestesses are allowed. There are 3 small offices back there. The main one, there's a number of books, scrolls. You find papers on the desk. It's very clear. A lot of things were left in here, but also some things were taken, there are entire sections of scrolls missing from the walls. On the back of the wall, though, and Casey, Peach, maybe you remember this from before, glancing down this hallway, there were 3 spears on the back wall. 2 of them are gone, but 1 is still there.
Cursed weapon.
Nothing's cursed in the Temple of the Maiden.
Are you going to use that, Araya?
She's looking at the desk and the books and rifling through some papers. Use what?
He points that.
There's one left.
There were more?
We saw 3 last time, right?
The remaining spear is certainly fine in its make. It's a broad, sort of spade-shaped head. The blade hasn't tarnished even from the neglect.
I'm not really good at that kind of thing. I think that's definitely worth taking from the temple. It's better served in the hands of someone protecting people, right?
I think Sal's getting excited for it. You might want to let him take a look at it.
Oh, you're right. No, Sal would really appreciate this kind of thing, wouldn't he? Good eye, Casey. Thanks.
No problem. Claps Doc on the back.
Doc collapses forward.
She just has a sour look on her face as she takes this and cants her eyes to the side. Should I look through the papers with you?
Yeah, if you see anything interesting. It's some of the really important prayer books seem to be missing, and then I thought, she did mention that she'd taken who? She's nearly memorized all of the teachings. Who would take these books with them into when it's better to carry the weight of water where they were going?
Sounds like
there are no books that are missing. There are scrolls that are missing.
Oh, okay.
But looking through the scrolls here, you're seeing histories and prayers, but you also see, glancing at some of the scrolls, spell formula, things like that. Going through all across the desk, Araya, you find, search around for a little bit. The first things you look at are pretty benign, and then you see sort of well organized with a little paperweight on top. Seems to be, you see your name. And then as you look through the papers, it looks like Coronet is journaling about your behaviors and observations of you in your time at the temple.
I, with not a great feeling, go through all of these.
Yeah, it seems to be basically, a ledger of times you've neglected your duties and the strange behaviors of like mistakes Albina's made in sort of association with her spending time with you, things like that.
How many of them are like actually real?
They're all things that happened, but like through the lens of someone who's judging you.
I think we can burn these.
Yes. Yeah. She just starts passing each paper over, but she does sort of like, if anything goes back to like her childhood that she doesn't super have like early days. Although, Coronet had, mostly she's burned everything.
There are entries that date back to when you were just a baby.
Full of like, fuck this baby vibes?
Like crops that didn't yield very well, or accidents that happened, things like that.
What a bitch!
Albina had the biggest axe to grind. I was giving her the benefit of the doubt that she meant well and to keep...
Casey is holding up.
Cornet.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, not poor Abina.
I love Abina's sweetness. I know... See, I thought Coronet meant well. I thought she just was, hard love. She just didn't even once give me the benefit of the doubt. The entire time.
Casey's holding a flaming scroll, catching the words, and says, "Rhea, have you always been a troublemaker?"
I'm not, though. I'm just not.
Look, she is.
Casey.
Look at all this. It's documented.
Wait.
That scroll might be worth something.
Casey, roll a Arcana check.
Okay.
Okay.
17.
You didn't burn one of the spell scrolls.
Seeing those as they're being handed, the small fringes of it just slightly, ever so slightly singed as they're being handed back. Doc sort of looks over it and is passing them and sort of glancing at them. She stops and gets really excited and runs over to Esmond and is like, "Oh my god, look. And she like points to the fact that they're like different elements of a spell. She's super excited about it.
Oh my god. Oh, wow, this is... Oh,
right?
What a find.
Well, if it's useful, we should take a closer look.
She rifles quickly through. Coronet had nothing good to say ever in her entirety as being a high priestess.
So, no disrespect to Coronet, high priestess. Obviously, well, maybe a tinge.
A little.
Could if we look at these spell scrolls, I might be able to use them or learn of them to copy them over to my spellbook, but I'm going to need time, and I'll probably have to destroy these scrolls. Do you think she would mind?
Oh, I think the way you all had put it is that I'm the high priestess now.
Oh.
So I think it's a worthwhile use of the scrolls, really.
That's true, actually. So, High Priestess Araya, could I, may I please have these scrolls that contain magical abilities?
If they're useful to you, I think it's useful to everyone.
Yes. Okay. And start just picking up what I can.
I don't know, as according to this, she caused one of the doors to fall off its hinges, almost hit one of the priestesses. That was when she was 7. And here, looks like Cal got into the crocs and ate half of them.
You're supposed to be burning those, Casey. You're not supposed to be reading them.
Well, we can't always look at people's pasts and hold that against them moving forward, can we? Now.
In a stage whisper, Doc says to Casey, "Maybe Dirge was right all along."
While there's, I guess, doing that, questions. Salinger, did you take the spear off the wall, or is that still there? Or were you not in this room?
I think I'll say I was in the room, and I would have definitely taken the spear off the wall as soon as the suggestion was even posited.
Okay, so Sal's been moving on to do that. Kabeth, you have restocked your supply of snacks, so you're full up, just from stuff that was around. And you also, Kabeth, are you in the room? Have you gone to the room with them?
I assumed so. I'm
Okay.
speed reading.
Yeah, you find some books on that are architecturally interesting in terms of like really old studies of architecture of ruins so you see some things that are like more advanced than methods that you have so far learned, if that makes any sense. Like you find a book that can advance your knowledge of like structural design.
Oh. Yeah, so I'm like pointing through it. I'm like, oh, Esmond should see this too. This is cool. Hey, Ray, can I take this one? This one's really good to study.
I mean, you don't have to ask me for every little thing. I just think that the relics of my religion should stay at the temple, and those are kind of off limits. But the books and the knowledge, it's better served when it's in use.
Yeah, and I can bring it back someday once we.
Yeah, just don't burn it. Just kind of like.
When Sal comes in, Casey vaguely gestures towards the spear, and Sumi gets the point. And then he holds up this one. Araya, I could have helped you with this one.
What did I do? What? No. That wasn't it. The context is missing.
Wait, keep us some of them. I feel like I like winding down the evening with stories, and it sounds like there are some really good ones in there.
No, I don't know. Like, I would rather these things not haunt me in my future.
Criminal.
Ava, you want to tell stories? How about you tell some stories about your own damn childhood? Entertain us, girl.
I studied a lot.
So did I, and yet...
You managed to cause so much mischief. It's impressive.
I'm surprised the temple is still standing.
It's nothing to be ashamed of.
If anything, it's really industrious of you to find all of that time.
Natural talent, more like.
Salinger, you've been sort of pulled. Sorry, that's the prep order. You reach the back of the room. Kind of probably at this point. We'll say early. We'll say you weren't here right away. You came in, so a lot of the stuff is already passed. When you move to the wall, pick the spear off the shelf. Ava, roll a Constitution saving throw, please. Oh, no, wait. First, roll a perception check.
Okay.
Advantaged. Hearing.
Oh, don't fucking do that.
Oh no.
Natural 20.
Motherfucker.
Perfect.
Motherfucker.
Please make a disadvantaged Constitution saving
Yeah.
throw.
Oh no.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh no!
There is a sound that only you can hear, super high pitched, incredibly loud. You take 4 points of psychic damage.
She, in the middle of jesting and smiling, just shrieks out in pain and sort of like goes to one knee as Sal pulls the spear from the wall.
Oh my god!
Ooh, Esmond, do you still have detect magic on?
Yeah, there's no reason I would have dropped it, just to observe the portal. So yeah.
Yeah. There's abjuration magic aura has appeared in the room.
What? Can I see where the source is coming from?
Yeah, the display case where the spear was.
Sal, destroy that case.
No.
I'm
Casey
I'm
is-
yelling over Ava, yelling.
Cypher will attack it.
Alright, yeah, you smash the case, it kind of falls to the ground. On the wall behind it, there's a glyph of some kind. Ava, you take 4 more points of psychic damage.
She shrieks again and starts to like sort of holding her head, trying to stagger towards wherever the exit is.
Esmond will pull out a vial and throw a vial of acid at the glyph to try and destroy it. Acid splash.
Do I recognize the glyph?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, no, I won't make you roll. Yeah, you throw the acid, takes another moment, dissolves it, and the sound stops.
Still kind of screaming a little bit and like holding her ears, but like not actively screaming, more like just shouts in time with breathing, trying to clear her head.
Esmond immediately rushes over to Doc to try and push her up against the wall, and we'll just kind of hold her face to just try and calm her down and check on her, kind of run through a rudimentary check that he would have seen her perform on other people before.
Blood drips out of Ava's nose onto the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, Ava.
Yeah, she pushes her mask back, and you see like the bloody nose and something dripping like Chris was describing. And she kind of like pushes Esmond off and says, "I'm fine."
DM, none of the rest of us heard a noise.
No.
We just saw her react. Okay.
Cypher like unties like a like cloth strip from her arm and passes it to Ava.
She takes it and like clears up her face, and you can see that like tears, just involuntary tears of pain, and sort of like came under her eyes as well.
Ava, what happened? What happened?
I don't. Chris, I'm assuming I don't know. Really? Do I?
Probably not. I'm just you heard an incredibly high pitched noise.
I don't. I have no idea. It was just. It was like a shriek. It was so fucking loud.
It was that glyph behind the display. Araya, why would the High Priestess lay a trap like that in her office?
Well, I don't think it was a trap. I think maybe these are like an alarm. Like, don't steal this spear.
Well, then why did it only affect Ava? She didn't touch the spear. She didn't
Yeah,
go anywhere
that's
near
right.
it.
She has really good hearing.
Could have been more like an alert if somebody was taking it keyed to the priestess or something.
But
I don't.
she was the only one to. We'll worry about it later.
Do you think we should be worried?
Maybe. Can I take Ava?
Maybe
to
Ava should
your-
be
to your
worried.
room?
Yeah, she's sort of. I want to leave the room. I need to go sit down for a sec.
If you go to the healing pool, hopefully the dwarf hasn't used. It's really restful and a lot more quiet.
She nods and continues to kind of clear her face with the rag that Cypher gave her.
Esmond will kind of motion to pick you up and help you along. Let's go. I'll take you.
Sorry, I didn't know. I didn't mean to.
None of us knew. I mean, I've never even been allowed in this room before.
Yeah, Sal, you didn't do anything on purpose.
Yeah, she says as much. Basically, she's leaving, just sort of shaking her head. So basically, and you hear as she's exiting the door, like, "No, Sal, it's fine. It's your fault."
Salinger, as you're holding the spear, things are starting to settle down. Would you like to attune to the spear?
No. I want to understand what it is without attuning to it if possible first.
Hmm.
That might take a lot of time. Maybe working with Desmond? I don't know. Detect magic, stuff like that when we get back. Either way, I don't want to attune right now.
Okay. I removed the identify spell from the game, so...
Yeah. Okay, still.
I don't think we would keep something cursed.
I mean, some of us already have, but
Yeah.
Including...
You don't.
I think it's too late for that concept.
You don't really think it's cursed, do you, Sal?
I think I have no idea what it is, and it's not mine yet.
An abundance of caution seems wise, considering our issues with magical objects in the past. I mean, sometimes they're great. Like, honestly, this is the best thing I've ever owned, but there are also some downfalls, like, and she points to her.
You mean the fact that you have to eat the amount of multiple horses per day now?
Do not you dare shame Kabeth for her eating.
She's
I'm
hungry.
not shaming, it's a fact.
Listen, bad things happen if I don't eat enough, and it's I mean, yeah, that's a disadvantage, but like, think of how fast I can run and how far I can jump. It's really worth it, honestly. It is unfortunate that I have to take a lot of food, but you know, it's fine. I got this great book from Shality on foraging, and worst case scenario, I just become a plant expert and I'll be fine. Foraging is fine.
Actually, it's a good reminder. I originally had wanted to come to the temple to see if I could find something that helps us with the items. We've had so much on our minds that it's kind of fallen off the radar, but I'm gonna really pour over some of these texts for that too.
I'll help you.
Kabeth, I'm just curious. What does happen if you run out of food?
Please hold while I jog my memory, because Chris told me and I don't remember right now.
They're not cursed though. It's just in your head. Kabeth has always eaten like that, and
That's rude. Kabeth always has been like very food appreciative, but like I think it's safe to say that you have noticed that the quantity has changed massively.
Yeah, of course.
And she has not changed.
Yes, she has. She got
she's
got
gotten stronger.
ripped. Yeah.
Salinger, please
That's
roll.
how food works.
Salinger, please roll a DC 10 animal handling.
Oh no.
What food makes your bones grow?
Chris,
Oh,
did you
I have to eat bones.
did you want me to take the 4 points that you mentioned specifically, or
8 points.
yeah, 4 and 4?
Mhm.
Okay, just making sure.
Okay.
In another room, Poppy's tail swings back and forth as she stares at the sleeping dirge. Does not kill him.
What a
Good.
good girl.
Never doubted it.
She's so well trained.
Yeah, so if I don't eat, like, I don't know, maybe like 3 times the amount of what I used to, and drink more water, well, I don't recover the same way that I normally would if I, like, go to sleep and you'd wake up feeling refreshed the next day. But if I don't eat enough, then I feel like crap the next day, and I can't do what I need to do, and I don't recover the same way. I don't benefit from a long rest, basically. I don't know how to describe that. I don't have magic
you
yet.
did great.
So.
You did great. You did great.
I was like, I don't have spells yet, then I don't know how to describe this.
What a fascinating quirk.
It's just mental, though. Rhea, you know the power of suggestion. It's they keep saying it's cursed, but then you start to believe it, and you end up passing out after the time is up. It's not actually cursed.
But I didn't even realize that the time was up when I passed out.
Maybe not consciously, but subconsciously, I'm sure.
Well, it's still worth researching, Casey, and yeah. Also, Well, we have more time at the temple that we can research a lot of this stuff. I should just make sure everybody is fully rested and healed up, and I'll, one of the springs that we do the rites at is just I'll just handle. I'll prepare the temple spring. Okay, I'll be back.
As Araya is leaving, Peach kind of follows her out just a step outside the door and says, Araya, is there a place I can... She kind of looks down at her dress and gestures at her clothes. Is there a place where I could clean up? I don't want to get any Aranox blood in like the sacred pools, but I'd really like to do some laundry.
Well, there are specific bathing pools that all the priestesses use over this way. Actually, it's part of the ritual that I have to do anyways, cleaning up. And you can come with me. And we do, laundry of stuff over here.
Thank
Did you
you.
need some more fabric for your skirts? Because, I've got...
Yeah.
I have some in my room.
Yeah, thanks, Araya. Peach
Yeah.
will tail after her.
We'll say that before too long, finding...
Sorry, I forgot I had a thing, and I sent you a message, Chris, but feel free to move on if you need to.
You could potentially use something like that to help someone in that situation, but the first thing wouldn't be relevant. The second one, if that makes any sense.
After they sit down for a bit, just together, helping Doc to sit near wherever, she does an incantation and starts to use different things that she sort of puts on either one of her ears and then sort of on her nose. Starts making sort of a gesturing, and you see the almost very little. It's like little bit heat waves that sort of come up, and when she takes the one of them away from her nose, I'm terrible at flavoring this. Never mind, she heals herself. I'll do the flavoring later. But she asks you afterwards. She's sort of like nodding her head. I'm fine. I just rest. Can you try to see if there are any more of those around so that doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I will just make sure everyone is careful. It would take forever, I think, to check the entire temple for glyphs hidden around like that. I don't imagine that there are any more outside of the High Priestess's office, but I'll tell everyone to, before they remove anything, to look for something like that. You alright?
Why? I guess. Why would she leave that?
I don't know. When I was here, I've only ever been here once or twice. I maybe met the High Priestess once, and she seemed fine, friendly enough. I don't think I ever realized how poorly she treated Araya, though. And now I wonder if what kind of intentions she ever had to begin with trapping a weapon of all things like that. I don't know. That was very strange.
Well, before we head out, let's do, like, maybe not me, but one more look around the places we know people are going to be, just if we can try to make sure, but I don't know, just make sure there's no other surprises if we can help it. Nothing else she's hiding.
Yeah, I'll go talk with everyone. I'll leave you here to rest, and Esmond will get up and begin to move before he leaves, so he stops and turns back around. By the way, I know that I didn't really make myself available in the past handful of months, but this mask thing is new.
Oh, you noticed? She
Well,
sniffs.
you weren't especially discreet with it, I don't think. We should talk about that at some point, I think.
I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about. It just, and she points at the ringlet, kind of makes it that everything is really acute, and so it's sometimes too much. So the mask helps to make things a little more tolerable when it gets to be too much, and that's really it. Flowers inside I collect for the smell. The ears don't really make the sounds that much less, and then the eyes kind of dim the lights if they get too bright. It's just for that.
I didn't realize that had gotten worse.
I mean, it's probably kind of a mixed bag, I guess. I mean, like, Beth has where she got, really fast, so that's kind of a good thing, and I can notice things, and I have a stupid amount of good eyesight. I thought I was gonna need bifocals like my dad someday, and if I keep wearing this, that won't be the case. So.
When we have more time, we should really sit down and try and inspect all these things. If your affliction is this severe, I mean, who knows just how bad Kibeth's hunger is, how truly bad it is. I don't know, something to look at, I guess, at some point soon.
Yeah. I guess Araya's the only one that doesn't have like a negative thing, right?
There's gotta be something. There's no way that you would both be affected, but she doesn't have some kind of consequence to that ring. There's gotta be something.
She still like recovering from it, and she's not in pain anymore. Obviously, it's more just the shock and the hit her. So as she sniffs, she kind of smiles. Maybe it doesn't affect criminals.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you're too much of a goody two shoes.
Yep, that's me. Anyway, I'll be okay. I'm just gonna rest here for a bit. So thanks.
All right, I'm gonna go find everybody and let them know.
Yeah. One last thing. Can you help? There's a spell that I was gonna see. I know you're gonna copy some stuff, but I was working on one, and there's some parts to it. I just was gonna have you look over with me, and I think that hopefully we can figure it out. It's for Sal, kind of. But anyway, it's not important right now, but it's just later when we get some time.
Yeah, we can do it when I'm fiddling with that thing that will help us travel more easily. I think we can go over that later on. Should be. I'll turn it into a little lesson. How much do you know about extraplanar theory?
Wasn't my best subject.
Great. I don't know that much either. I cheated it. It'll be so interesting to figure that out.
All right, well, good luck with your mystery thing until then. See you in a bit.
Yeah, we'll say, just because I know it's getting late, we'll say at one point in the evening, the group of you come back together, maybe after having cleaned up the room that has a big enough table for you guys to sit at and have some food and rest. There are 3 candles burning on the table, shadows flickering on the wall, and golden light in the room. Salinger, you're reminded of a story. if you saw into it.
Yeah, I can riff it. You know, my dad used to tell this silly old story about his dad. Would have been at least a century ago now. Different part of Lux. Places were still less incorporated. And these rips in places remind me of something that him and his brother used to do when they go out looking for fishing hole. They'd just go wandering in a random direction. Make a stick, some string, some crickets with them. See what they could find. Did this every season, years and years and years. I only ever found one. And I don't know if this is a fabrication or an exaggeration. Anybody that knows Amav Morel knows that any of his stories are at best 50-50 for their accuracy. The fact that we found two, well, the one that they found didn't turn out so well, and those big old footsteps reminded me of what they pulled out of it. They went fishing, sat there, at that one hole, year after they found it. Mostly just caught guppies. Squirrely little things you could easily snack. And one time they went back, my dad's brother's fishing rod just snapped right in half. He leaned down, looked a little bit, put his head right above the water. And a split second before, the head of a giant snapping turtle came right at his nose. My grandpappy pulled him back, missed him by less than an inch. I don't know. Those big old footsteps in the woods remind me of that turtle. You never know what's going to come out of a hole, I guess. You think we covered that one in the bookshelf good enough? I just don't think I'll sleep easy without knowing that we got enough space for something snaps at our nose.
Flames flicker above the candles, shadows moving on the wall. Let me have everyone, as Sal tells the story of the snapping turtle, let me have everyone give a little vignette of like how your character kind of has their evening meal, like what they eat and how they eat. I'd like Beth to go last.
Well, what's the kitchen situation look like? Because I imagine that Peach, with her background in food service, is probably the one primarily cooking with whatever vegetables can be scrounged up, and I imagine she's making it's kind of easy stew, because you can always make stew with whatever you've got. She's serving it over some mashed yams.
Esmond has a simple glass of water and a small bowl of stew or soup or whatever broth might be lying around, but he's only taking small sips at a time as he's got those scrolls that he took from the High Priestess's office in front of him, and he's looking over those, and he's quickly jotting down a series of notes in his notebook.
Ava takes a lot of meals, sometimes sitting next to Esmond, sometimes just coming by, but it's pretty common for her to bring whatever is served, whatever meal is cooked around the campfire, in this case, made in a kitchen, and has Esmond do a small ritual of magic, and it reduces whatever the flavors exist in what she's eating by a factor of 10. So she
Peach comes around and refreshes your water and says, "Sorry, it's a little too spicy for you, Ava, but you know, always cool down with a blast of cool air." She gives it as a wink.
Asmon's not paying attention. He's writing notes.
Yeah, Doc like watches as Peach like walks away and sort of like nods, and then as she walks away, she like rolls her eyes and goes back to eating. But yeah, just to be certain, that is something that you would have observed over the past several months happens, or past several weeks at least, happens pretty consistently.
Casey is kind of very comfortable leaning back at the table, playing with a ball of fire with the soup there, and he snaps his fingers and creates a new ball of flame and sets it down on the table. And it just kind of pulses there for a moment, and then he takes his other hand and waves it by the soup, and a small portion of it lifts up and kind of floats in several little balls over the flame and starts to bubble and boil and hiss and eventually just evaporates there. And he says, in Sal's direction. I mean, certainly not cursed, but maybe haunted. I mean, spirit is.
Sal is in the middle of slicing a hard-boiled egg when Casey says this into thin strips and misses a cut ever so slightly. Gives him a bit of a sideways glance. Yeah, one or the other. And he's got the bowl of soup arranged with sliced accoutrement around the sides. He's got a little red bag that he pulls some grains out of, sprinkles on each different ingredient. It seems to change color as he sprinkles it on different objects. Starts to eat it, looks back at the spear, considers again whether or not he should wait, covers it back over with a blanket. Eats most of the soup, but when Kabeth's not looking, he drops off a little bit of everything and puts it next to the rest of her snacks.
Peach side-eyes Salinger, changing his food around. You know what you cook next time, then? This ain't good enough for your refined palate.
I'm just adding to a masterpiece. It's not that it was bad.
Oh yeah, you're adding to and Ava's taken away from. You guys want it watered down or heated up or dissolved into the air in front of you. Someone else does the cooking next time.
Seyfried is perched up in like a curved alcove in the architecture, like maybe like 10, 15 feet up. She's leaned back with one leg crossed over her knee, and she out of her bag, she's pulled like a bundle of food that's been wrapped like securely in a big broad blade of grass, essentially. And inside is sort of an incoherent amalgamation of several different tiny snack ideas, all sort of jumbled together. There are some crackers that have been cut into star shapes. There's a few random like seeds and dried fruit, like leftovers from a snack she knows that she gave to one of the 7-year-olds. There's a few other like homemade travel food pieces in there. And then kind of tucked inside is like a little scribbled note. And she like, she looks at it and kind of like holds it to her chest, and with like a smile to herself, and sort of slowly, calmly picks away at the food and such, and just sort of chills up there.
Has anyone not gone yet?
Me. Peach made soup for everyone. Araya mentioned something about fasting before a ritual, and just drinks water at the table, just enjoying everyone and their company nearby. But she prays a lot more than you normally see her do in the village. She does here, somewhat reverting to her more pious rites than usual.
Casey says, "You've upset Peach, Sal. Now she's gonna go stew in the corner."
Don't worry, Sal. I ain't sour about it.
He laughs enough to spit some stew out for sure on that.
Poppy looks at Salinger as he spits the stew on the table, then kind of mimicking him, like spits some of her stew on the table.
Oh.
I suppose I am an example now.
Beth has been sitting with a decent portion of food in front of her. She pretends not to notice when Sal sneaks more things into her pile. She kind of smirks and looks shy about it. She's not eating with the usual fervor that she does. She seems to be more self-conscious about it now. And she's kind of slowly, very carefully devouring her bowl, but just she seems embarrassed after the conversation earlier, I think, being called out for it, and now she's like almost can't stomach it, but she's sitting there listening to her friends and watching them, and eventually the bowl scrapes empty and she sighs. There's never enough. It's never enough.
As your spoon scrapes the empty bowl, you feel a little pang of hunger in your stomach. You blink once, you blink again, and when your eyes open the second time, you see translucent, subtle, sort of ghostly, almost like flames or vapor and aura. You see it in two places. You see it gold and black, two different auras wafting off of Araya. And you see one aura, black, wafting off of Casey's shadow.
Well, either I'm going crazy with hunger, or oh, that's new. Oh, that's weird.
And that's where we'll end for tonight.
What color were mine?
Black and gold, I think, right?
Cool. GG, everybody.
That was fun.
That's awesome, guys.
I got so much work done.
Oh, quick question, Salinger. One last opportunity, at least for tonight. Glance at the spear. Do you want to do it?
No. No. I don't think it's for me. The glove felt like it was for me. I don't know why this doesn't feel like it is, but he's not going to do it.
I don't think I know how to use a spear, so it can't be for me.
I don't design things for characters. I don't. Whoever wants.
That snapping turtles story is an approximation of a fishing trip me and two of my cousins took, where my oldest cousin almost lost his arm to a snapping turtle as we pulled it up from a rock, not knowing what it was.
Mm.
They can turn really fast too, which is crazy.
Yeah, they are dinosaurs. That's why as soon as the giant dinosaur was coming out of the hole, I couldn't help but think about that memory when I was 13. It was bigger around than my chest. It was very scary.
That's incredible.
I've swam next to a sea turtle that was the size of a Volkswagen Bug. It's very, very uncomfortable.
Snapping turtles will take your hand off, though. Like, Allie, do you remember getting the lessons in school where they warned us about them if they're in the fields or
Nope, I was that kid who was just running around in the woods in the marsh and doing what I would do.
You were.
Oh, I was that kid after school, literally would come in caked in mud and dirt. And, yeah.
They look like dinosaurs. My God.
Yeah. Imagine if you just saw that thing's head coming out. This was around sunset, around 8:30 p.m. We're on a dock next to this fishing hole in a place in Canada, and just that head snaps. I should probably tell the whole part where my youngest cousin and me, the older cousin who was holding the net trying to pull it up that almost got snapped, did in fact jump off the dock into the water and swim away. But everybody survived. It was fine.
Patrick, have you never seen a snapping turtle in person?
No, not in person.
Oh,
Never.
dude, they're so scary.
There was when I was growing up, we lived in a little subdivision or whatever, and there was a small man-made pond in the middle, just fucking full of snapping turtles. And sometimes they would just wander out of there. One time found a snapping turtle on top of the neighborhood sign.
What?
It was I'm sure that some teens or something had put it up there or something like that.
Excellent climbers. Very
Are
fast over
they?
short distance.
Snapping turtles known for their climbing.
Yeah. They grab on,
Yeah.
extend their neck, grab on, pull themselves up, latch on, neck goes out. They'll climb a tree to chase you down if they're hungry.
They hiss. They're pretty mean.
I'm so blessed to have not encountered one in the wild, but so feel unfortunate that I've not actually seen one in real life. I will try to eventually see one of these because they sound
No,
kinda
you don't. You don't
Oh my
want to
gosh.
because you can hold that thing by the shell and it'll have a long enough neck that it'll be able to bite your hand anyway. It's terrifying.
Does it really?
Yes, it's sometimes called a
the
snake
neck
turtle.
stretches
It's got
so
a
far.
huge, super long neck.
Incredible.
You think
they're
you're
so
safe, and then it's
cool.
I really did have a legitimate fear every time we went near that portal that something with a big long neck and big sharp fangs was just gonna.
Yeah,
I don't want
Never too late.
You guys make fun of the town mailman, but you don't know. You don't know that guy's got a neck
Ruthless.
and some jaws. Yeah.
I had to dance with him.
I bet the Atlanta Aquarium has a snapping turtle in there somewhere. If not, I know the Charleston one does.
Yeah, one day he's gonna snap.
Go post.
Yeah, that was a good one for post.
Tag team.
Look at him climb a fence. Holy shit.
Yeah, not joking. They warn us about them in New England. They're threats.
I did not see Mario coming though. That was excellent.
A cat, a shoulder cat.
Oh yeah. Wednesday's needy at the end of the night.
Okay, I know there might be vicious and I should stay away from him, but I legit feel bad for that turtle climbing the fence. He worked so hard. So close.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's a plumber doing jumping on random turtles anyway?
All right, folks. I'm out of here.
Yeah, probably head out pretty soon too.
Me too. Good night, everyone.
They-
Good night.
Good night.
I'm heading out too. Good night, folks.
All right.
Good game.
Good playing.